Conroy hasn't been kind to the Houston Aeros as they've lost all 6 games, including 3 to Orlando. Friday, Al Conroy skated the Aeros to a 2-goal lead, only to have it slip away. Dave Barr led a 4-goal comeback as the Solar Bears beat Houston for the 7th time this season. Tonight, the Aeros trying to stop the madness in March, next on Prime Sports. From the Summit in Houston, Texas, Prime Sports and the Houston Aeros present International Hockey League action. Tonight, the Aeros take on the Indianapolis Ice. A very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Summit. I'm Adam Gordon. Oh, it's been a busy 24 hours for the Houston Aeros, and as I bring in my broadcast partner, Mike Greenlay, we'll start it off. Yes, the trading deadline was today, and the Aeros have been very busy. They traded Paul DiPietro and Mark Laniel to the Las Vegas Thunder. Yeah, and that for the Las Vegas Thunder, that'll give them a good, solid defenseman and some scoring up front. The Aeros will lose these guys, but they have future considerations. 2 weeks after the season's over, they'll see who they get in that deal. Well, the Aeros were not done, and perhaps a deal that will shock everybody that is an Aero fan. Player assistant coach Scott Arniel to the Utah Grizzlies for Igor Bashkitov. This deal really showed that nobody was safe before the trading deadline, and Scott Arniel will give the Grizzlies some good strength up front and some, I guess, some leadership down the road to the Turner Cup. What the Aeros get is a good, young, hard-working player that can offer them some scoring down the stretch here. Earlier in the week, Grant Shervin was sent down to the East Coast Hockey League. That also meant the return of a former goalie, Rob Dopson. He'll start tonight. Yeah, Rob Dopson, he didn't get a lot of playing time when he was in Kansas City. He was 1-0-1 while he was there, and I don't know if he's glad to be back. Kansas City's definitely going to make the playoffs, so we'll see how he reacts. Let's take us to the Oshman's game plan, brought to you by Oshman Supersports USA. Well, first of all, you have 3 periods, Adam. The Aeros need to go all 3 periods strong. That's been one of their downfalls lately. Second, fill the gaps. The Aeros have to, since losing these players, fill these gaps that these players have left and really pick up their play. And of course, to do that, the third key is work ethic. They need to work hard tonight. They're going to have to against a hot Indianapolis team. All right, when we return, we'll throw it to the Prime Sports Clubhouse. We'll be right back. Houston Aeros hockey on Prime Sports is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. By your participating Texas Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep and Eagle dealers. By Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, a new commitment to healthcare. Together. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. By High-Low Auto Supply. For the lowest prices every day, what you need is High-Low. And by the Gatorade Company. If you're living life to the fullest, you're gonna get thirsty. That's why you need Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Life's a sport. Drink it up. At the Summit, Adam Gordon, Mike Greenlay. We're set for the Aeros and the Indianapolis Ice, the first of 2 meetings between these 2 teams. They'll do it again Friday night. Looking at the starting lineups brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Mike Vukonich, Danton Cole, Sergei Klimovich up front with Ivan Dropa and Yuri Krivohisha. And in goal, it is Jimmy Waite. His backup, Christian Soucy's played the last 2 games and played very well, but Jimmy Waite will get the call tonight at 23-16-6. For the Houston Aeros, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Sylvain, Turgeon, Graham Townsend, Mark Lamb, with Gord Donnelly, Miles O'Connor on the line, and in goal, making his first start in quite a while, Rob Dopson. Here's the thing about him. His last game was against the Fort Wayne Komets as an Aero. His last game as a Kansas City Blade was a win against the Fort Wayne Komets, but he's fared very well against the Indianapolis Ice this year. Mark Lamb to take the face-off against Sergei Klimovich. The Aeros 14 points back of the Atlanta Knights, and a win tonight, coupled by an Atlanta loss, could make things a little tighter. It'd be 12 points, but Atlanta's lost 4 in a row, so they've gone into the tank a little bit. In fact, Indianapolis beat Atlanta 7-3 Saturday night in Indy. Puck out at center ice, and the ice turning in their own end. It was Danton Cole flings one, it's out of play, and play halted. You look at Dave Tippett, and I think one of the reasons he's going with Rob Dopson is his success against this team this year. And Dave Tippett really thinks a lot about those things. He really sits down and
and goes over the notes and goes over the previous games and see how guys played against the line, you know, how the lineup fared against that other lineup that night.
A terrific February for Troy Gamble, but March has not been too kind to Troy, and I think also changing it up also helps things there.
Well, it hasn't been kind to the whole team, so I don't think you can read too deeply into that.
Lamb to take the draw, and he wins it from Klimovich, and Donnelly pounds it into the Indianapolis zone. Back to play it. It's there for Yuri Klimovich. Past Klimovich. Rolled one out at center. Dropa down the left side. Trying to kick one in, and it'll go down into the arrow end, and Turgeon gives chase. Sylvain Turgeon behind it. Oh, turn the puck over. It's controlled by Mike Vukonich. Back to the line. The shot went wide of the net. Picked up Klimovich. Centered the shot way wide. It goes to the far boards, and Klimovich is there, but he lost the puck, and Townshend cleared it. Out at center, it is Turgeon. He'll gently roll it into the Indianapolis zone, and the Aeros make their first line change of the game. Mark Freer without his line mate, Scott Arneal. He's out there without Conroy and Mike Maurice. Conroy, right side at center, and across the line. Centered one. It went off the skates at Dropa and cleared out at center. It was Conroy who rolled it into the Indianapolis zone, and Jimmy Waite will slow. Buchanan takes over. Pass jammed out at center, and here comes Kent Miller. Miller across the line. Malamont's got him all locked up, and Mike Maurice will take over. A minute and a half gone in the first, scoreless from the Summit. Aeros with a puck. It is Conroy. Give it a Freer. Poke checked at the line. And it's jammed away, and Kent Miller brings it across the line. Miller for Indianapolis. Shoots. Dopson save. Rebound. And it was jammed behind the cage. Conroy was there. It'll roll to the near boards. Buchanan trying to hold it a point. It's back out at center. And the ice then jam it. It goes up over into the Aero bench, and play halted with almost 2 minutes gone by in the first period, and a scoreless hockey game.
I think what you're going to see right away is the Aeros trying to get it down deep, but a lot of their problems lately have been around that offensive blue line. They've been giving the puck up, and they've been giving the puck up down deep in their own zone as well. I think they're going to have to play a good, solid defensive game tonight.
The Indianapolis Ice have played some terrific hockey, and their head coach Bob Ferguson really has them playing well. And in fact, I think you talk to a lot of guys, and they'll tell you this could be a sleeper team in the IHL playoff run.
I've seen a lot of teams really make a good run at it. Teams that weren't supposed to really make a run. You get a hot goalie and some good scoring, and you never know what you can do.
Christian Soucy, the backup, the guy that's been getting it done lately for him. But Jimmy Waite, of course, a Chicago Blackhawk, and he's in there tonight as the puck is shot the length of the ice. That is icing, and the faceoff comes back into the Aero end.
You talk about Jimmy Waite. He has won a Turner Cup championship. Took his team all the way there with a 9-1 record in 1990. So he's no stranger to going the distance, going all the way, and they're probably looking for him and Soucy, the backup goaltender, to really backstop this team, because like you said, the playoffs is a whole different season.
Did Las Vegas steal the pot though in this trade?
Well,
I'm talking not only just for the Aeros, but for the Indianapolis side of things.
Well, I think you look at that, and I think Las Vegas is definitely bulking themselves up for the playoff run.
Here's a puck that came in front and it was jammed away. And here is Vadim Slivchenko in his own end. Slivchenko rolled the puck over to Steve Jaques, and the cross-ice pass was intercepted by Trevor Halverson. He was brought over in the deal from Las Vegas for Jeff Serowik as Jaques goes back and icing is the call. Oh, we've got a second here, Greener. Maybe we should update what's Indianapolis done. You might remember Daniel Gauthier, a top-notch goal scorer.
I used to play with him.
Sure. Well, he went to Peoria in exchange for Patrice Robitaille, a guy we will see tonight. He along with Andre Rasico. And then Jeff Serowik, who was one of the top AHL scoring defensemen last year and picked up where he left off this year with the Indianapolis Ice. He goes to Las Vegas for Peter Forentino and Trevor Halverson.
Well, I think it's a pretty good trade for both teams. You look at Halverson, a good, strong left winger, but Peter Fiorentino, he's pretty tough in front of that net. And he's another guy like a Kevin Grant who don't want to be in front of that net when he's around.
The Ice, not known as a physical team, they don't hit a lot, and hopefully that's something's a shot. Score! Igor Bashkitov gets off an airplane, and he gets onto the ice, and in his first shift as a Houston Aero, top shelf over the shoulder of Jimmy Waite. The Aeros lead at 1-0.
So far this season, he has 14 goals, 19 assists, and that's with Utah in 44 games. I tell you what, welcome to the city, kid, as he gets out on the ice and makes his name known right away as Bashkatov picks up a loose puck, and he just puts it high over the blocker of Jimmy Waite. I don't think Jimmy Waite was expecting that one, as it, like I said, it was a loose puck, and it just came out of a scrum, and what a great shot right up underneath the bar. Not too much chance for Jimmy Waite, and the Aeros lead at 1-0.
Off the draw. Aeros have it and a 1-0 lead. And here is Gord Donnelly in his own end. He'll move it up and out at center for Lamb. He'll hit the line. Lamb pass Townsend, shoots, and he didn't get good one on it. Lamb tried to center the rebound. Picked up by Turgeon. Sylvain Turgeon in the slot. Cuts it back to the point where Donnelly is there. He'll roll it in behind the net where Jimmy Waite will slow. Townsend gathers it in. He's bumped by Ivan Dropa. Turgeon, base of the right circle, give it to Lamb. He works in there with Brad Werenka, but it's tipped away. The ice will clear it out at center. Miles O'Connor at center ice. Worked it into the Indianapolis zone. Indy goes back to play. Dropa near corner. Flipped it to the line and it was cleared. Not out. Second effort out at center. Here's a 2-on-1. Danton Cole charging right side. Cole right in. Waite shoots. Dopson got a piece of it. Danton Cole's only got 1 goal in his last 13 games. Had a great chance there, but it was the side, and now the Aeros will turn in their own end. Turgeon ripped it the length of the ice, and they'll say no icing as Ivan Dropa takes over with 4 minutes gone by in the first, and a 1-0 hockey game. Aeros lead it on Igor Bashkitov's first goal as a Houston Aero. Now a pass intercepted by Maurice. Dropped it back. Freer centered for Conroy, but he couldn't get his stick loose. And back to play it is Patrice Robitaille. Robitaille came in behind the net. Dropa had it knocked away. Freer fighting for it. Pinching is Maurice. Maurice has it for Houston. In behind the net. Maurice, wraparound stuff shot. Stopped by Jimmy Waite. Puck is in front. Werenka trapping at it. It'll come to the line and out at center. Maurice swings it in there, and the Indianapolis Ice will go back to play at Brad Werenka. Sliced it off the glass, not out. Robitaille in a battle with Conroy. Freer trying to loosen it up along the boards, and Brad Werenka takes over. Werenka in behind the cage, lost it. Freer centered, Conroy in, but it was knocked away, and the ice scampered to center. Robitaille through the neutral zone, across the line. Pass came to the left wing, was centered for Miller, but Maurice got back to knock it away with just about 5 minutes gone. And here's the pass. Conroy, he's got a break if he can get there. He shoots, stopped by Jimmy Waite, but I think they're going to call a 2-line pass, so it wouldn't have mattered, and we'll take timeout. 5 minutes gone by in the first. Aeros lead at 1-0. We'll be back after this, but first, this word from Southwest Airlines.
Back at the Summit, the Aeros lead it 1-0 on a goal by that man, Igor Bashkitov. And last year he had 49 goals, 43 assists in the Colonial League for the Detroit Falcons. And he's got his first goal as a Houston Aero tonight. And you'll probably see him playing with Vadim Slivchenko quite a bit.
Slivchenko, he's a guy that really had a great start to this year. But Vadim just never really got her going in the second half of the season. But hopefully, by being paired with Bashkatov, that will help. You might recall how well he played last year with Oleg Shargorodsky.
Right, well, I talked to Danton Cole before the game, and it's funny, he said, you guys got Bashkatov. He's a really talented player, and of course he'd know that because he played with him this year in Utah, and he said, you got a talented player, you put him with the right guys, and he'll get you some goals. I guess he's right.
He's got one in the early going. The Aeros lead at 1-0. Here's Yo out at center with Bashkatov and Slivchenko. Bashkatov and across the line, had it stripped. Nice pass. Came back as Yo takes his man to the corner. Manlow in there, trying to work it along the boards. And it's picked up by the Indianapolis Ice, and Steve McLaren will skate to center ice. McLaren dumped the puck in. It went to Dopson, but he'll leave it for Steve Jaques, trying to shake off a check. Jaques in his own end. Pass snapped out at center, and Slivvy's got a chance. Slivchenko right side. Center. Bashkatov shoots. Hit the post. Take it off the far iron. That beat Jimmy Waite, but all you could hear was the dingle and the dangle of the bells of the pipe, and the Aeros nearly got her 2-0. It's picked up by Houston in their own end. They're trying to move it out of there. Back to get it. It was Jaques. He was watched by Klimovich. Taken away by Klimovich. Hill on the left side. Slivchenko digs it out for Houston. He'll go back to play. 6 minutes gone in this first period in a 1-0 hockey game. Puck shot the length of the ice. They say no icing. They felt that Yuri Krivichak could have played it. Danton Cole in his own end. Forecheck Lamb. He'll move it out at center. Here comes Klimovich across the line, trying to shoot. He was dumped by Donnelly. Rolled along the boards by Vukonich. Vukonich had it come in front. A shot, stop, score! It did get over Dopson. I thought Dopson got a shoulder on that shot, and I think Mike Vukonich has tied this game at 1.
Well, it's a tough play for a goaltender in that situation. You have the puck that's dumped out of the corner right into the slot, and a goaltender doesn't have time to come out and cut down the angle, so he has to stay on his goal line. As it's a good play by Vukonich, he just chips it up over the shoulder of Dopson. Actually, everyone went for the rebound because they thought that he actually did make that first save. It might not be Vukonich's goal, as it's chipped right up over the top of his shoulder. It might have gone in right away. No, they're not. The light, I'll tell you what, the light came on that first shot. Dopson stopped the first shot, and it's Vukonich who'll get the goal on the rebound. So actually Dopson did make a good save there, just couldn't clear the puck in time, and Vukonich will tie the game up at 1.
Puck is in Arrow territory. Dopson couldn't clear Vukonich, trying to move it back in front, but the Arrows take it away, and they'll move to center. Kelly Hurd down the left wing, out at center, shoots it into the Indianapolis zone. Jimmy Waite will slow it. Roll near side, Hurd trying to dig it out, base of the left circle. Klimovich battling in there. Hurd gets it back. He's tied up along the near wall by Yuri Klimovich. And Danton Cole cleared it to center ice, and the Arrows have to regroup.
We talked about the Arrows, about the way they score a goal and then they get one right back on them. That's something they're going to have to work on, is their consistency after a goal is scored.
Puck controlled by the ice. Klimovich rolled it to an open wing. In there was Kelly Hurd, but instead Klimovich takes over. Danton Cole through the neutral zone, rolled it through the Arrow defense and into the zone. It's dumped in, and Valimont goes back with 12:39 to go. In this first period, it's a 1-1 game. Battle for the puck along the right wing. Patrice Robitaille, the rookie from the Peoria Rivermen, gets it back to the line. Shot right on. Dopson sticks it aside. Picked up by Valimont. Carl Valimont turning in his own end. He'll motor to center ice for Mark Freer. Freer dumps the puck ahead, Maurice, but that was offsides and play whistle. Now we take timeout. We are tied at 1. The Arrows in the Indianapolis Ice. This is the IHL.
Back at the Summit, 1-1 tie as Vukonich scores the tying goal. Last year it was with the Albany River Rats of the American Hockey League, and he won a Calder Cup. I'm sure he'd like to add a Turner Cup to that. Doing his best to help his team get there, I suppose.
Well, I like the trades that the Ice have made and the acquisition. I don't know if that's going to get him a Turner Cup, but hey, I think they're going to make some noise in the playoffs.
Well, they've missed the playoffs the last couple of years, and I tell you what, they're really working hard to stay in the run for the cup. I guess you have to be in the playoffs to make the run.
Puck is shot ahead, and here come the Arrows. Mark Freer across the line. Freer trying to move in. It was centered, knocked away. Puck is jammed to the near wall, and Freer's got it. Slides it for Conroy. Back in front. Freer shoots. Stopped in front. Loose. And it's gobbled up by Ivan Dropa and shot out at center. Here come the Ice. Lecompte down the right wing. Shoots. And there was Dopson with a save. Puck resting base of the circle. And the Arrows take it and clear it to the line out at center. Werenka couldn't hold it. Ivan Dropa in his own end. Fly out Conroy. And it's fired at center. Lecompte shoots it in, and Dopson will make the save and swing it along the boards. Maurice, the center for Bashkatov. Trying to move down the right side. He'll dump the puck in. And the Ice go back to play. Brad Werenka, worked on by Yo, nearly took that away. Werenka's pass worked up for Eric Manlow. And across the line, Halverson centered one, but it's intercepted, and Slivchenko's got it. Pass out, Bashkatov. Slivchenko going to the net, but it was intercepted by Jeff Buchanan. Along the left side, the puck is controlled by Bruce Cassidy. Out at center, Buchanan worked one in. He broke his stick on that dump in. And the Arrows drop. Dopson will hold on with 10:42 to go, and a 1-1 game.
Buchanan's shot, he's got a pretty hard shot actually, and he broke his stick on the play. Actually, I played with him in the 93-94 season. We won the Turner Cup, and since then he has gone to Detroit for a little stint last year, and then finally found himself with the being traded from Tampa Bay to the Chicago Blackhawks. And Buchanan just trying to dump that one in on net, just blows the end of his stick off, and it's either, you know, it didn't happen in this case, but a lot of times guys will saw a little bit of the stick off in practice, so the guy will come down and take a big slap, wind up for a big slap shot, and he'll blow the end of his stick off.
Peter, I saw you do that at the third fairway with one of your clubs, just snapped off.
No, that was around that redwood.
Oh, brother, here's a nice pass, shot in front, and dumps a right hand save, rebound, and that's sliced wide of the net, and it's picked up by the ice again. Halverson, down right wing, scooped it for Manlow, he's trying to get it away, and it goes to Igor Bashkitov. Bashkatov will scamper to center ice as Yo moves up with him. And across the line, that was offside, as Yo got a little eager on that, and play whistle down. I like this line, Greener, where you got Mike Yo, the hard-working guy, the guy that's going to grind, get the puck for you, and then you got two skilled guys in Slivchenko and Igor Bashkitov.
Well, yeah, definitely you need someone like Mike Yo to open up the room for guys like Bashkatov. You look on the other, you look on their counterpart. You look at Halverson, another guy that just got acquired in a trade, not for the Aeros, of course. This one is for the ice, but he gets that last shot on goal, and Dopson had to come up with a great save there. But you said you liked what the ice got, and they're already showing dividends in some of the situations already.
Puck shot down the ice is hurled, but hustles back to play it, and whistle stops play. As icing will bring a face-off into the Indianapolis zone with 10:06 to go in the first, 1-1 game.
You know, trades are not always a funny thing, and I guess after it's over, the guys kind of laugh about it. I won't tell you who said it, but when I was talking to one of the players before the game, and he said, yeah, a lot of for sale signs came out of the lawn after the deadline was over, because they realized that they're safe at least for the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be tough on anybody, whether you're renting an apartment or you have a house. It's tough to uproot, but something to be said for the three guys that were traded. Each one of them has a shot at the Turner Cup. I mean, you've got the defending Turner Cup champion Utah Grizzlies for Scott Arneal, who have a legitimate chance. In fact, if anyone's going to beat Las Vegas, as Dopson covers up a loose puck, but if anybody's going to beat Las Vegas, Utah's got a chance. And of course, with Las Vegas, Laniel and DiPietro have an excellent chance.
I can't wait for the playoffs to start. It's going to be so exciting. It's such talented teams. If you just look at the top few, you got Las Vegas, Utah, Cincinnati, Orlando, some real top teams up there, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be fun.
And there are some guys, and we talked about Indianapolis, that could maybe sneak up and steal a series. And, you know, another one that I think just something tells me is the Fort Wayne Comets.
Oh, definitely. They're always in it because it's always so tough to win in that building. They call it the jungle for that reason. Their fans are nuts. But I tell you what, that's part of playoffs. They're upsets.
Aeros will be in Fort Wayne, so we'll get a good look at that team this weekend. Another edition of Saturday Night on Ice. The Indianapolis zone. For them, it's the ice on Wednesday night, every night. Here is Klimovich across the line. He'll push it down. Danton, Cole in the corner. Center one. Here's a chance for the ice, but Klimovich couldn't pull the trigger, and it's brought up and out at center. Lamb lead pass too far for Turgeon. It'll go down. They're saying that it's Yuri Klimovich now that scored that goal and not Mike Vukonich.
Well, that is curious because it was jammed away up front there, but we'll keep an eye on that. It might change again. You never know.
Puck is in the slot. A shot by Danton. Cole is blocked. Battle for it in the corner. And Turgeon's got it. Sylvain Turgeon with 9 minutes remaining in the first. 1-1 game. Gives a pass to Lamb. He'll move out at center with Kelly Hurd. Lamb hits the line. Dropped it Hurd. Couldn't pull the trigger as Dropa stayed with him. Hurd trying to center one. That hit it was Lecompte that had hit. And here comes Klimovich. Pass to the left side. Brought across the line as Robitaille trying to move it along there. He fell and then finally hauled off the puck in the Aeros. Still can't clear it though. Battle along the boards. Krupke in there, and it's taken away by Kip Miller. Snap pass in front is chipped away as Robitaille got the shot. Battle for it behind the cage. Lamb trying to dig it out. He's got Lecompte on him. Lamb moves it along as finally scooped away and skate. Pop the shot right on, and Dopson will make the save. He will hold on, and we take timeout. 8:25 to go in the first. Tie to 1. Back after this. Along with Mike Greenlay, Adam Gordon from the Summit. The game is tied at 1. Igor Bashkitov for Houston, and for the Indianapolis Ice, Yuri Klimovich. And today, again, if you're just joining us, March 20th, 1996, the official trading deadline for not only the IHL, but the NHL.
Yeah, I think the NHL was 2 o'clock Houston time today. And I think the IHL was 4 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken.
4 o'clock Central Time, exactly. Off the draw, it's Robitaille. A shot kicked down to there by Dopson. Back to the line, Conroy poked it out at center by Steve McLaren, but McLaren got it back. McLaren's pass came over to Miller. Nice pass in front. Here's Lecompte. Backhander hit the side of the net. In there was Krupke fighting for it, and then Dopson will lunge behind it, and he will hold on. Al Conroy, who leads this team, with 22 goals. You know, a lot of talk about Dave Tippett and what his future holds. And if there's any doubt about how the players feel, Al Conroy reinforces it.
Well, from the players' point of view, we'd love to have him back. He's extremely fair, but at the same time, he definitely is tough enough to get the most out of you. We haven't played that well the last 5 or 6 games, that's for sure. But for the most part, I think Dave's done the job that they expected of him, and we'd love to see him back.
Puck is in the Aero end, and I think if you ask any Aero in that locker room, they'll tell you that same thing about Dave Tippett. It's a good assessment about fair but very firm. Here is Ivan Drope at a right point. Work the puck down. Battle for it. It's Patrice Robitaille. Centered one right in front. The shot just went wide by Kip Miller. And the Aeros Conroy poked it out in center. Freer trying to move down. Freer in after it, but the puck too far out of his reach, and Jimmy Waite will come out to play. Sliced it to Drope. And he'll bang one up the board that's out at center. Miller couldn't find the handle on it. And back down the ice it goes for Carl Valmont. He was pursued by Miller. Krupke slides it out at center for Al Conroy. Conroy through the neutral zone, hits the line. Conroy top of the slot, winding way back out of play, and a fan in the upper sections got himself a souvenir.
And you know, talking about Dave Tippett and what Al Conroy really voices, you know, a lot of what he knows about all the players and everything. And one thing, you know, it's not just, you know, he's not just blowing smoke, because I tell you, like you said, you could ask any player on that team, and when you give that kind of answer about a coach, it's kind of rare, because most players don't like their coach for one reason or another, and, you know, depending on what kind of player you are. But I think every player on this team realizes that Dave Tippett's going to make them the best they can be.
Puck goes back down into the Houston Aero end, and Mike Hurlbut is there. Gives to Igor Bashkitov. He's got the lone arrow tally. Slivchenko across the line with Yo. Feathers one from Mike Yo. Base of the right circle. He's crushed on the boards by Buchanan. It's picked up by Indy and shot near side. Eric Manlow moves it out at center. Manlow through the neutral zone. Cranked one in there. Ooh, Dopson had to shuffle the pads to make the save there. Bruce Cassidy gives one down to the left side for Ryan Huska. Puck in front, battling the shot right on Dopson. Stopped it, rebound, and there was Slivchenko, and he'll motor to center. Slivchenko through the neutral zone, trying to make the move across the line, and Cassidy's got him tied up. Indianapolis Ice will clear it out at center, and Miles O'Connor is there, trying to fire one ahead for Bashkatov. Igor Bashkitov gives the puck for Yo. Looked in front for Bashkatov, lost control of it, and here come the Indianapolis Ice. Ask for Danton Cole, and he'll roll it into the Aero end. Dopson come out to play. Pass at center, knocked away. Klimovich got it into the Houston zone. Mike Vukonich sliced it behind the net. In after it, it's Miles O'Connor, but it's chipped away as they go after it. And here's a penalty to Gord Donnelly. First penalty of the night's going to go to Gord Donnelly for interfering or hooking Sergei Klimovich, and the Aeros are going to be shorthanded with 6 minutes remaining in the first in a 1-1 game.
We've seen some pretty wide open play here, and finally things starting to trap down a little bit, but Dopson has to make a save from outside the blue line. It's usually not really a hard save, but this puck's doing all kinds of funny things, skipping and jumping, and Dopson makes a save and finally clears the puck out. And I tell you what, it's no secret what Indianapolis is trying to do right there. They throw the puck out in front. Of course, Halverson gets a chop at it, and so does Huska. But I tell you what, that's how they scored their first goal, dumping it out in front, having some players out there, and that's why they have their first goal, and they almost had another one, but they'll have a chance for another one right here as Gord Donnelly goes in the box for hooking.
Off the draw, the Ice have got it. Indianapolis 7th in the IHL at 18.5%. The Aeros 18th at 76.1. Werenka trying to get one down for Miller. That was batted away by Lamb. Heads up, took a big swing at that. Kip Miller, who's out there for Indianapolis on this power play. He's been up and down with the Chicago Blackhawks this year, but he had an unbelievable Turner Cup run with the Denver Grizzlies last year, was the most valuable player. And I'll tell you, as long as Kip Miller can stay healthy and as long as Chicago leaves him down for Indianapolis, I think they're going to make their noise. Kip Miller, an outstanding center iceman.
Well, actually, his success doesn't just stay there. His success has been throughout his career, and when he was with Michigan State University, he also won the Hobie Baker Award. So this guy's a talented player, and his talent was realized a long time ago.
He played with the Kansas City Blades also for a spell. Here's a puck in the Indianapolis zone. Ice have it. They've got a minute and a half to go on the power play. Cole across the line. Danton Cole moving right wing. Worked one down. The Ice trying to give it back. Cole will emerge from behind the cage along the left side. Cross ice pass for Miller. Miller sends one back, pulls right in, shoots, scores! Danton Cole on the power play. And it's a 2-1 Indianapolis lead.
Well, what a pretty play here as Miller, we were just talking about him, and he is a patient hockey player. He's smart, he knows the ice, and he waits, and he waits, and he knows that he's going to have someone breaking across the slot as Danton Cole does. It's a give and go, but it's cross ice give and go. As soon as he gets the puck, it'll go right back to the man that gave it to him, Danton Cole, and Rob Dopson had to come over to the side of the net to play Miller, but Miller will feed it back to the breaking Danton Cole, and Danton will use Gord Krupke as a bit of a screen and help the Indianapolis Ice to a 2-1 lead on the power play.
Before that, he had only scored 1 goal in 13 games, and now make that 2 in 14. Here's a puck back to the line, Maurice for Houston. Worked it back for Hurlbut. Lets the shot go, that went wide of the net. It's been a while since the Aeros have really gone after Jimmy Waite. Here's Kelly Herta's shot, and a stick save made by Jimmy Waite. In behind the net, Freer lost an edge. Freer trying to dig it out, he pokes it to the near corner. Maurice centered one, hit the skates of Freer. Freer fighting for it in the battle along the near side. There's Freer trying to grapple with the ice, and it came behind the net, and it's taken back by Bruce Cassidy. Lobs one ahead for Jeff Buchanan. The pass comes to Halverson. Halverson in across the line. Centered one. Dopson makes the save as it went off a skate. And then Dopson fighting for the puck with his own guy, Steve Jaques, but he finally got it away. He will cover up and hold on. 4:22 to go in the first period. And the Ice, 2-1. Ice lead at 2-1 at the Summit, and don't forget to join us again Friday the 29th for more IHL hockey action when the Aeros take on the Cleveland Lumberjacks. The Jacks won 3-2 in Gund Arena back in February as both teams combined for 90 shots on goal, so tune in next Friday night. The Aeros and the Lumberjacks on Prime Sports at 9:50 KPRC. Puck is brought in. Here's a pass that's knocked away. We've got a penalty coming up to the Indianapolis Ice as Patrice Robitaille chases the puck down. And play halted as the Aeros are going to get their first power play of the night.
Well, you talk about that line playing so well in Slivchenko, Bashkatov, and Yo, and Bashkatov almost breaks free to get another one as Dropa, I believe, will get a holding call there. And so the Aeros will get their chance, but Bashkatov showing some great acceleration as he cuts through the defense, and Dropa just puts the ropa on him and hauls him down as the Aeros will have another chance here to tie this game up.
Face-off will be at center, and it's Igor Bashkitov with Vadim Slivchenko, Mike Yo, Mark Lamb, and Mike Hurlbut defensively with a new kid like Bashkitov out there. What changes? I mean, how hard is it for him to adjust to a power play? Do you just go out there and send him to figure it out?
Well, the Aeros don't really have a set power play, and they move the puck around, try and get to the point, move it down into the front of the net. And I think these guys will figure out their own tricks.
A lot of speed out there with Slivchenko and Bashkatov. Slivchenko, base of the left circle, gets it back to the line for Lamb. Back to the line, Slivchenko. Sets up on the power play. Winds, fakes the shot, now lets it fly. Wait, save, rebound! Oh, a marvelous chance for Hurlbut, but one of the Ice was there to knock it away, and Kip Miller will shoot that the length of the ice.
I guess I shouldn't say that the Aeros don't have a set power play. What I should say is it's not the kind of power play that they couldn't explain to him real quickly before the game, and right there they almost got a goal off of it.
Oh, Hurlbut was sniffing around for some loose biscuits around the net, but couldn't quite jam it in there. Puck is shot the length of the ice with 3:15 to go in the first of the 2-1 hockey game. The Ice lead it. At center, Freer smoking down the right side. He'll pull up in the circle, give it to Turgeon. Sylvain Turgeon, and it's good, but back to the line. Hurlbut shoots, Waite stopped it, rebound, and it's cleared by the Indianapolis Ice. They will move to center. Vukonich shot it into Aero territory. Danton Cole pushed it behind the cage, and Hurlbut is there with 43 to go on the power play. 2-1 Indy. Hurlbut wings one to neutral. Turgeon across the line, trying to move in as he shakes off one check, but couldn't get away from the poke check. And Indy will move it out at center. Turn around by Miles O'Connor. Townsend couldn't find the handle. And the Ice, penalty coming up to the Aeros. As down went Cassidy. As the Aeros go back, and that'll do it for their power play, as Mark Freer will have a seat in the sin bin with 2.5 to go in the first. 2-1 Indianapolis.
Well, Mark Freer will get 2 minutes for a hooking, and these are the kind of penalties I don't think the Aeros can afford to take right now. There was no real reason for Freer to pull down Cassidy, as there was plenty of coverage back there. Townshend was in on the play and was just about to take the puck away, but Freer doing a little bit of back checking with his stick rather than pumping those legs, and he'll get called for hooking, and that'll just nullify any chance the Aeros had on the power play.
So they'll go 4 aside for 20 seconds, and then 1:40 of a power play for the Indianapolis Ice, who are already 1-on-1 on the man advantage. Miles O'Connor in behind the net. He'll play peekaboo with Kip Miller and then bring it up from behind the cage. Here come the Aeros in their own end. Miles O'Connor pushed it out at center. And the Indianapolis Ice, Kip Miller there. You know, the Ice scored on the power play, but coming into tonight's game, they had just 4 power play goals in their last 37, or excuse me, 4 power play goals out of 37 opportunities in their last 9 games. That's right around 9%, folks. But they've got a goal tonight on the power play, and they're on the power play again in Aero territory. Kip Miller, right point, moves in. Gives it left side. Puck to the center, but too far as Klimovich sent it in there. Kip Miller back to the line for Werenka, but he had it poked away Conroy, but couldn't clear the zone. Ice trying to hold it in. Conroy sticking his nose in there, and the Aeros have a 2-on-2 short-handed break. Conroy at center, across the line with Kelly Hurd. Dropped it for Hurd. Hurd pulls up, and then he just dumped it in. Aeros not really looking to attack there, just kill some time, and they did it. 53 to go on the power play. Kip Miller. He'll meander at center, hit the line, give a pass to Vukonich. He'll roll it down for Danton Cole, who's got a goal in the game. Back to the blue line. Werenka tipped it for Miller. Now it is Cole. Give it back to Kip Miller. Hashmark's right side. Top of the slot. It was Werenka. Came back down the left side. Cassidy centered one for Vukonich. He was pounded from behind by Krupke as he couldn't get a good shot away. Along the left side. Nice have got it. Cassidy center one. Dopson got a stick on it. 20 seconds to go on the power play. 45 seconds to go in the period. It's 2-1 Indianapolis. Puck loose in Aero territory. Krupke manhandles Vukonich to the corner. Chased down by Cassidy. Krupke got there for Houston. He'll clear to the line. It's out at center ice, and that'll do it for the power play. It's down to 3 seconds. Puck at center. Lamb trying to jump on it. It went down as Freer came out of the box. And the Aeros are back. Miles O'Connor with 20 seconds to go in the period. Bangs one out at center. Lamb trying to feed Freer. Aeros trying to jump on it, but Klimovich takes over. Sergei Klimovich, it's out at center for Eric Lecompte. Hits the line, but Gord Donnelly takes over with 8 seconds left. And it'll go the length of the ice. It's icing as Indianapolis goes back. Buchanan is there. He will just let the period run down. And there's the horn to end the period. A smart play by Buchanan just to let it go down. And after 20 minutes of action, the Indianapolis Ice lead this hockey game by a score of 2-1. When we return, we'll visit with Al Conroy right after this. Back at the Summit, first intermission, the Indianapolis Ice leading the Houston Aeros by a score of 2-1. Well, it's the trading deadline today, and the Aeros dealing, as you know, Mark Laniel and Paul DiPietro to Las Vegas. Scott Arniel went to the Utah Grizzlies for Igor Bashkitov, and sometimes the trading deadline a little bit of a distraction. And you know what? We had Mike Greenlay had a chance to talk with Al Conroy. Here's what went on.
Thank you, Adam. And Al, you look at the last little while here, and you know a lot of guys have been looking at the trade deadline coming up, and a few guys walking around on eggshells. Has that been a little bit of a distraction for the guys?
I think so, definitely. You know, not so much maybe Friday's game, but this, you know, past 3 or 4 days of practices, everybody's been thinking about it. Today's morning skate, after the trades that were made yesterday, everybody was definitely thinking about it.
You look at the guys that did go: Scott Arniel, Mark Laniel, Paul DiPietro. I mean, are you surprised by any of these guys going?
Well, I'm not really surprised by Paul DiPietro getting traded. You know, he's not going to be back next year under any circumstances, and hopefully we can get some good players, you know, for him. Mark Laniel, definitely a little bit surprised. He had a couple more years. He's not really a high-priced player, but you know, sometimes to make a deal to get the players you want, you have to give up players. So that's maybe one of those cases. And then in Scott Arniel, I think everybody was extremely surprised, and maybe that's just to show everybody, you know, you have a bad year as a team, nobody's really safe. He has a tremendous amount of respect from all the rest of the players on the team and throughout the league. So, you know, I wish Scotty all the best, and I know everybody else on the team does.
In some people's minds, they're thinking that maybe this is a way of the Aeros kind of packing it in by getting rid of these players. I know you know that this is different.
Definitely. You know, those are our deals for next year for sure, but at the same time, we've been watching the last week. Atlanta's lost 3 in a row. We've been gearing up for this weekend and really the stretch run all year, this last bit of games for the last 3-4 days. And, you know, we've talked about it. We realized that all realized that trades were going to be made. We hoped that maybe we'd get some help back, but that's not, you know, we got Igor from Utah, but you know, that's just the way hockey is. We're going to definitely continue to fight in this race.
All right, Al, I wish you best of luck in the rest of the game, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, that was Captain Al Conroy, and we'll be back with more of the first intermission right after this.
Back at the Summit, the Indianapolis Ice leading the Houston Aeros by a score of 2-1. And well, Mike Greenlay, you know, you look at it, the Igor Bashkitov deal for Scott Harneal, dividends already?
Yes, it's already paying off, and I don't know, maybe as a young player wanting to come into the different city and make his mark, I guess he certainly has right off the bat. And like I said, it's good to see him playing with someone like Slivchenko and Yo, kind of a line that could really pay dividends, as you say.
You know, they talk a lot about the Europeans, and they give him kind of a label of not being a very defensively minded player. I'll tell you what, Igor Bashkitov is a good two-way hockey player.
Yeah, he is, and I think that's one thing that Pete Dineen said earlier today. What you're getting is a good, hard-working player, but you're also getting a guy that's defensively minded as well as being a good offensive threat. So he'll really add a good part to that Houston Aeros lineup.
Jumping to the highlights, the Houston Aeros got off to a good start as they start off the scoring.
And guess who starts off the scoring is Bashkatov, and boy, he doesn't waste any time as he picks up the loose puck in the slot and he puts it right up underneath the bar. It's kind of a confused play, so that's probably why Jimmy Waite really wasn't ready for the shot, as it's just a failed clearing attempt. Good job by Gord Donnelly on that play, getting in there, and Bashkatov just deposits in the top corner of the net.
So Bashkatov gets his first as a Houston Aero, 15th of the year unassisted at 2:38. Aeros lead at 1-0. But then a goal, we had a little trouble figuring out who got it, but it would eventually be Yuri Klimovich.
Yeah, and it's off the original shot. We thought that maybe Dopson got a hold of this one, and you see it right there, but eventually Vukonich tips it in, but too late. The puck had already gone in the net. A better angle at it, where he just deflects it right up inside the net, then it drops out of the net, and Vukonich says, hey, I'll make sure.
So Yuri Klimovich, his 5th of the year at 6:25 for Mike Vukonich, and Sergei Klimovich, it's 1-1, but then the Ice take the lead on the power play.
And they haven't really done well on the power play lately, but I tell you what, a good give and go play. Danton Cole to Miller, back to Danton Cole, and Danton Cole just chopped this one in the far side of the net. It's a good play by Cole and Miller, as it's a cross ice play, and it's tough to find guys sometimes, but Dan Cole goes to the net and he gets rewarded. It's a 2-1 game.
35th of the year at 14:43 from Miller and Klimovich, and the Indianapolis Ice lead by a score of 2-1. The Aeros, I thought, first 10 minutes came out and did very well, but after that, they really didn't get much on to Jimmy Waite.
That's a problem we've seen so much lately, is the Aeros will get maybe that first goal, maybe the first 2 goals, but they don't keep that pressure on, and then naturally the other team comes back, and I think the Aeros, if they get back to a tie game, will have to just keep pressing.
We're ready for the start of the second period. We'll bring it to you when we return our score. After 20 minutes of action from the Summit, it's the Indianapolis Ice 2, Houston Aeros 1. We'll be right back. Back at the Summit, a 2-1 hockey game in favor of the Indianapolis Ice, and we'll take a look at tonight's first period stats, and they're brought to you by your local Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Shots on goal 8-6. That looks like an NHL total. A lot of times you see an NHL game with those kind of numbers. Power play, the Ice 1 of 2 on the man advantage. The Aeros 0 for 1 on the power play. Face-offs, the Aeros doing a good job at center ice there at 15-8. And the Indianapolis Ice 2 penalties for 4 minutes. The Aeros just that single Gord Donnelly minor, and that is for 2 minutes. Kip Miller, as we talked about, leading in the ice time department, 8 minutes 53 seconds. Igor Bashkitov for the Houston Aeros, 5:23. Our statistician on that, Kimberly Johnson, keeping us updated throughout the night.
And keeping you updated on the kind of team the Aeros are facing right now, the Indianapolis Ice. have a better second period than any other period they play. Out of their 266 goals they've scored, 103 of them have come in this second period. So that's typically their strong period, but moreover, typically the bad period for the Houston Aeros. This is where they're going to have to be tight.
Yeah, I think you got to keep an eye on this for the Houston Aeros. That's where they've really, you look at the spankings that they had, the 10-1 game against Orlando and the 9-4 loss at Cincinnati there, second period.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of times they find they lose the game in one period. They'll play 2 strong periods, but their one period is so bad that they usually end up losing that one.
Clock is in the Indianapolis zone. The Ice love to play Orlando and Detroit in the Central Division. They've lost just once and then lost in a shootout once. 8-1-1. Clock is in. Danton Cole gets into it with Miles O'Connor. Klimovich, base of the circle, had it stripped, and the Aeros are out at center. Lamb, the pass to Townshend, it hit him in the skates. He couldn't do anything with it. And the Indianapolis Ice take over in their own end, but it went through Klimovich, and fighting for it was Graeme Townshend. Townshend right side, trying to get it down, and Yuri Klimovich is there, who had a goal and an assist in that first period. Klimovich shoots. Got that, was blocked by Miles O'Connor, and the puck cleared near side. It's jumped on by Gord Donnelly. Donnelly out at center. He'll fire it into Indianapolis territory, and out of the net, it was Jimmy Waite as the Aeros making changes on the go. Pass out at center. Klimovich dumped the puck into Aero territory. Dopson will glove it and then drop it for Carl Vallemont. Vallemont's pass intercepted by Patrice Robitaille, but Vallemont got it back across the line. Vallemont cutting in. He came to Conroy, centered it, but Kim Miller takes over. Miller rolled it near side. Krupke pinching, and it's finally taken away, but here come the Ice. It is Robitaille in on goal. The shot wide of the net. It's back to the line. Held in by Buchanan. Rolled it to Robitaille. Puck in front. Here's the drive by Lecompte. It was kicked aside by one of the Aeros. And Krupke trying to chase it down, but Mike Maurice is there. 18:20 to go. Just underway the second period. 2-1 Indy. Conroy in his own end. Fired the puck behind the net, and Carl Vallemont hustles back to get it, and he'll crank it off the boards. It'll go the length of the ice. This will be an icing call. Brad Werenka goes back. And whistle stops play. 2 minutes gone by in the second 2-1 game.
You know, it's funny, Adam. You look at the teams that a lot of the players we've loaned out and traded to. I mean, you have, of course, Arneal going to Utah. You have DiPietro and Laniel going to Las Vegas. And then also you have Kevin Grant going to Cincinnati. Hey, being traded or loaned out isn't so bad anymore. You go to first place clubs, it seems like. Normally it's thought of as a pretty bad slap on the wrist.
I'll tell you what, Pete Dineen, I looked at him after and before the game. I said, Pete, you glad the day's over? He looked at me. He said, oh, worst day for a general manager. It can sometimes be your best day, but it's worse when you got to try and tell a player, especially, you know, it was not easy going to Scott Arneal, who's one of the original Aeros and assistant coach and a popular guy. Say, hey, you've been traded. And Pete Dineen, I like what he's got on the hopper here. Puck is in the Aero end, and it finally shot the length of the ice as it'll go down to Jimmy Waite, because the Aeros have two guys for future considerations coming up from Las Vegas. And you look at their roster, when they give you the list, I don't care if they give you their bottom end guys. Their bottom end guys are going to be some top end guys with a lot of teams in the IHL. So when they get to pick from that player to be named later or the future considerations, Aeros, Pete Dineen is going to have a field day with that. Here's Mike Gill with a shot. That is blocked. Jaques right side lets one go. That's kicked away. Another shot returned and intercepted by Robitaille. And now we've got Jaques. He wants to go with Eric Lecompte. Jaques and Lecompte going at it. Jaques trying to throw a big stiff right hand. Knocked him back into next Wednesday, but Lecompte roaring back. Jaques trying to get in there. Lecompte trying to fire back. Jaques with another uppercut. Jaques with another right hand. Another right. Another right. Oh, man. Who said he's a defenseman? He's more right wing. Well, not even a liberal. He let that right wing fly, and it was cranking nothing but the side of the head of Eric Lecompte.
Well, that fight was definitely lopsided. You look at the size of Eric Lecompte. He's a big man, 6'4", 215. And Steve Jaques, giving up size and reach, doesn't give up the tenacity in a fight. You know, they say it's not always the size of the dog in the fight. It's sometimes the size of the fight in the dog. And the old right hand came out as Lecompte took a feeding right there by Steve Jaques.
Oh, the plight of the right tonight on the head of Eric Lecompte. Lecompte hung in there, but Steve Jaques
Whoa! And I'm having a look at it as you see Jaques and Lecompte were just going at it and giving them a little bit of something to taste is Steve Jaques. Like I said, that fight a little bit lopsided, but hopefully the Aeros won't get any lopsided call on this one.
Well, the crowd, you can hear them. They're showing the replay up on the summit screen, and the crowd getting into it. Maybe one of the best fights for an Aero this year. The shot came on, score! Igor Bashkitov, second of the night from Slivchenko, and the game is tied at 2.
Well, I tell you what, Adam, these guys have known each other maybe a couple hours, unless they knew each other way back when. They're playing like they've played together all year, but what a great play there as the puck comes across the crease and Bashkatov deposits it in the net, tying this game at 2. It's his second goal of the game. I guess you could call it Indianapolis 2, Bashkatov 2, as he has both goals for the Aeros.
Puck is in the Indianapolis zone. It's knocked away by Gord Donnelly. And out at center, here they come. Down the left side, Halverson cutting in, but it was pushed away by O'Connor. Slide it to the line, not out. Held in Cassidy. Dopson comes out to play it. Yo trying to move it out of there. Yo in a battle with Eric Manlow. They continue to grind it out along the boards. And finally a whistle stops play. And we take time out. 3.5 gone. Second period tied at 2. We'll be right back, but first, this word from Southwest Airlines. Aeros have tied the game at 2. Hey, no bashing this guy. Igor Bashkitov has himself a couple of goals to the Houston Aero, and he's tied it at 2. 16 on the year. And we talked about getting him on a line with Slivchenko, and Vadim Slivchenko looks like he's got a little jump tonight.
Well, I tell you what, it makes a difference to a player like Slivchenko, who definitely has friends on the team, but it's also a little difficult to communicate sometimes. To have someone you can actually talk to and talk about hockey with a little bit more, it's definitely probably made him a little more at ease.
Townshend and across the line, centered one. That's knocked away. Townshend right side in the Indianapolis zone. Give it to Lamb. He takes a bump, a shot. Hammer just wide by Townshend. Ryan Huska, he'll move out at center. Takes a bump from Turgeon, and Valimont is there. Carl Valimont in his own zone. He'll start the breakout for Lamb. Couldn't find the handle. And Bruce Cassidy goes back. Pass for Trevor Halverson in across the line with Manlow. Manlow gets it back, long shot. Oh, good by Valimont. And Dopson had to let that one just skip across and wide. On the left side, Manlow battling in there. Valimont chased it down in the corner. Carl Valimont fired one for Turgeon. He'll chip it out at center. And Werenka goes back. Brad Werenka in his own zone. He's forechecked by Lamb. Werenka tripped up by Lamb. No penalty. He got the stick in there, but looks like Lamb got away with a good one there. Hurlbutt threw it right off the back of the referee, Mike Wicklum, and then went into the Aero bench, and play halted with 15:19 to go in the second period, and we're tied at 2.
Mike Hurlbutt, who we've seen really let the shot go, but I tell you what, it's Mark Lamb who, yeah, I guess he does get away with on there. You can see his sticks up in the air afterwards as he pulled the feet out from underneath of Werenka, but no call on the play. Actually, that's a pretty blatant trip right there. I'm surprised there was no call on that play.
Mark Freer comes out without Conroy and Mike Maurice. Gord Donnelly, Mike Hurlbutt defensively. Freer to take the face off at center. Off the draw. Puck is corralled by Klimovich. Freer jumps on the loose puck, but it's turned around by Klimovich, and the Ice move it out at center. Danton Cole across the line. Give it Klimovich. Down the left side, Cole check Hurlbutt. Klimovich Cole takes a sharp check into the corner, but Cole picks up the loose puck back to the line. He shot, lost it, and a pass. Freer trying to spring Conroy. Could not get it to him. He gets that down Conroy. Al's got a breakaway. Freer along the boards, lost it. Conroy turning left side. Conroy centered for Freer, but he couldn't get the shot away. Into the corner. It was Maurice, spun off the puck, but not out. Hurlbutt a wrist shot block. Jumped on by Maurice, scooped it for Conroy. Bates in left circle, looking for Maurice, but it went behind both Freer and Maurice, and the Indianapolis Ice will clear it. Out at center, Sergei Klimovich. Had his pocket picked by Freer. He's in alone. Great save by Jimmy Waite. Freer corner, centered, but it was tipped away and out at center. And now it is Robitaille the other way. But getting back is Donnelly, and he'll ride him off the puck, and the Aeros will go back to play it. 2-2 game with 14 minutes to go in the second. Gord Donnelly, pass to Bashkatov, rink wide Maurice, he'll bring it across the blue line. Maurice, rated on goal! He was dumped off the play, and the puck is cleared out at center. Krupke trying to move it ahead, it hit one of the Aeros, it was offsides, and play is whistled down. We've played 6 minutes in the second period, and a 2-2 hockey game.
Mark Freer just had a great opportunity on the breakaway, picked the pocket of the Indianapolis Ice player and came in alone. A little leg lift there, a little shot right into the lower part of the net, but good save by Jimmy Waite. And I think this is exactly what Freer was trying to do earlier on in the game when he tried to pick a pocket of a player and it got a penalty instead. But I tell you what, Jimmy Waite didn't get a lot of that puck. He got enough of it to steer it wide.
Ice take over in their own end. Krupke gives a little two-hander to Halverson, and O'Connor drills it into the Indianapolis zone where Jeff Buchanan could not clear. Bashkatov for Slivchenko, shoots, and that went just wide. That might have even skimmed the side of the net. Picked up by Buchanan, and the Ice turning it behind their net. Puck goes to the corner, and Indianapolis will clear it out at center. Here they come, it is Kip Miller. Pass ahead for Robitaille, looking for Halverson. Yo got the stick in there to knock him off the puck. Mike Yo trying to shake off the check. Gives the pass for Miles O'Connor. He tried to loop one for Bashkatov. That's knocked away and cleared out at center. Ward Krupke will crank it into the Indy zone. That came right out for Steve McLaren. Back center ice. Here come the Indianapolis Ice. Robitaille for Halverson. Back. Robitaille right in. Shoots. Dopson the save. He will hold on, and we take a timeout. We've played 7 minutes in the second period. Tied at 2. Back after this. It's a 2-2 hockey game from the Summit. Adam Gordon, Mike Greenlay, and Gord Donnelly, a guy that has struggled in the last couple of games, but I think consistently since the start of the second half of the season, Gord Donnelly's been the defensive guy for the Houston Aeros.
Well, yeah, he's +3 over his last 17 games. He's played strong defensively, especially since the new year there, and he is only 3 games shy of his 800th career game, and playing well, as you said, in the last few months here.
Donnelly in behind the net. He'll turn it around to the right side. Townshend moved it neutral, and Turgeon off to the races across the line. He'll dump it in. Jimmy Waite comes out to slow. Waite wants to play with a puck, and it's chipped out at center, and here they come. Ryan Huska hits the line. Huska right in on goal. Shoot short side, went far side on Dopson. Missed the net though. He made a nice play, Ryan Huska did, to get around Donnelly, and then Donnelly gives back and just imprints him like a credit card right along the near boards. Back in center, it's 2-on-1. Turgeon with Townshend. Turgeon centered for Townshend, but a little out of his reach. He couldn't snap one in there. Donnelly worked it back behind the cage, jumped on by Lamb. Centered for Townshend, but he couldn't get the shot away. And it's pushed by the ice out at center. Balamont winds it around. Couldn't get it in, and Balamont will try it again and flutter one into Indianapolis territory. 8 minutes gone, second period, tied at 2. Hot shot into Houston Aero territory. Gord Krupke is there, and he turned it over to Kip Miller. Here's a pass in front. Klimovich right in on goal, center, and a marvelous defensive play, rebound, score! Hurlbut made the first play, but the second one got in there, and it's 3-2 Indianapolis.
It's quite an unfortunate play because it was because of a good defensive play that Rob Dopson was out of position. Rob Dopson read the play properly as it went across the crease, but Hurlbut had already blocked the shot, so Dobson's out of position, and not because of his own fault. And this gives the Indianapolis Ice a chance to shoot it in the wide open net as the Ice, Klimovich, will get the puck back off of the rebound of the stick of Hurlbut. And no fault to Dobson, definitely really no fault to anyone on that last part of the play, because Hurlbut has to make that blocking pass. Krupke originally gave the puck away, and that may be the only fault on that part of the play. But as far as the last part of the play, Hurlbut had to make that block, and Dopson has to read the play across the net. Tough goal for the Houston Aeros against.
Puck is in the Indianapolis zone as they jump out to a 3-2 lead again. And here's a penalty coming up to the Houston Aeros. Mark Freer, I think, again, is going to go off for the hook. And the Aeros are going to be shorthanded as he'll have a seat in the box. Don't waste away in Margaritaville, folks. Just join us Friday, the 22nd, and a salute to the biggest pair ahead of them all, Jimmy Buffett. Southwest Airlines, Whataburger, and Aero 93.7 present a beach party on ice featuring the sounds of Key West during the intermissions. Everyone will receive a coupon good for a free cheeseburger in paradise with a purchase courtesy of Whataburger. First 6,000 fans will also receive a foam parrot head, so don't come Monday, Friday, March 22nd, as the Aeros and the Indianapolis Ice going at it again. And this has been a terrific game. I tell you, Indianapolis, they're a gritty hockey team now.
Well, they certainly are. They're gonna really make you play your best to beat them. And like I said, they've missed the playoffs the last couple of years, and they're ready to make a run for it, I think.
Here's Vukonich, crank the shot, blocked by Donnelly, and that'll bounce into the corner, and it's picked up by Maurice, cleared not out though. Dropa lets the shot fly, and Dopson got a glove on it. Behind the net, they fight for it. It is Danton Cole, shoveled into the corner by Donnelly. O'Connor turned it over, he gave it right to Kip Miller. Back to the line, it's Werenka. Brad Werenka, the cross ice pass over Dropa, and it was shot right to Miles O'Connor, and the Aeros will clear it out at center ice. 10:30 to go in the second period, and here's Conroy, short-handed, shoots, and Jimmy Waite to save, and he will hold on. Al Conroy, hey, he's having a pretty good hockey game tonight, and he nearly beat Jimmy Waite to tie this thing up at 3.
Well, the puck got actually stuck in the pad of Jimmy Waite. As a lot of pads, if they're a little soft around the bottom there, and Al Conroy comes in and just blasts one, and Jimmy Waite was actually looking for the rebound but it's actually stuck in his pad, so he makes a save and actually had it held on. You don't usually hold on to the puck too often with your pad, but Al Conroy blasts a good one in there, and a good short-handed shot, as the Aeros this year are 13th in the league with short-handed goals for at 10.
Puck control by Ivan Dropa. He'll move it up and out at center. And the Aeros take over in their own end. They've got a minute to kill on the power play. It's shot back into Indianapolis territory. Kelly Hurd chased it down right side. Hurd shorthanded shoots, but he missed short side, missed the net. Picked up by Yo. Yo pushed in there by Werenka. Danton Cole was tied up by Yo. And finally, the Indianapolis Ice moved to center. Werenka. Worked on by Kelly Hurd. Watched by Yo. Finally, Kip Miller moves out at center. A lead pass for Danton Cole, racing in after it. And finally, Dopson will cover up and hold on with half a minute remaining in the Mark Freer penalty. 9:43 to go in the second period, and the Indianapolis Ice leading the Aeros by a score of 3-2.
A lot of back and forth action here as the Aeros took the lead 1-0, and then it was tied up, and then after that, it was the Ice who led 2-1. The Aeros came back, tied it up, but the Ice have regained the lead again on a bad clearing pass in their own zone by the Houston Aeros. And I'm sure they got to stop shooting themselves in the foot in situations like that, and be tough defensively and use all the goals that they can get.
Off the draw, here's Miles O'Connor. He'll fire one off the boards. It's out at center ice. Ice regroup in their own end. Cassidy swings one back to the corner. 9.5 to go in the second period. 3-2 Indianapolis. Puck is loose. Conroy forechecking pretty good in there. Sergei Klimovich. Actually, that's Yuri Klimovich rather. Gives to Klimovich. Up the right side, the pass came in there, knocked away by Maurice and shot the length of the ice, and that'll do it for the power play. The Aeros have killed it off. Teams are at 5 aside. It's Yuri Klimovich. Pass up the middle, came out at center, and O'Connor regroups and swings it into the Indianapolis zone. Out at center ice, the puck missing everybody. They will still say no icing. The Aeros could have played it. Hurlbutt takes over. Hurlbutt fired one off the boards. This time, this will be an icing call, but Slivchenko the first one there, so Jimmy Waite will play it. That'll negate the icing. Klimovich in his own end. Forecheck Freer. Back to the line. Hurlbutt couldn't hold it in, and Jaques will chase it down. Steve Jaques in behind his net. He will just wait patiently as he's playing peekaboo with Lecompte, the guy that he just fought a few moments ago. Slivchenko across the line. Right in on goal. Shoots. Wait, save, rebound. Wow, like a magnet. The puck was just sitting there waiting for an arrow to jump on it, and nobody could get there, and the Ice able to clear it out of harm's way. That thing just stuck there. Slivchenko to Hurlbut. Wrist shot right on. Waite stopped it. It's loose. Ivan Dropa got over there, and he cleared it for Eric Lecompte, and the rookie cleared it to neutral ice. He played a few games last year, not many, for Indianapolis, so this is his first full season in the IHL. Jaques back to play with under 8 minutes to go in the second. On the ice with a 1-goal lead at 3-2. Hurlbut creamed into the boards by Halverson, picked up by Huska. Ryan Huska, base of the left circle, pushed off by Bashkatov, taken back by Eric Manilow. Manilow gives it down. Halverson tried to center one, but Bashkatov got over there, and he'll slice that one the length of the ice. This will not be icing as it hit a weird part of the boards and came out in front, and Jeff Buchanan takes over. Buchanan flings it out at center. That's a two-line pass in play. Halted. We take a timeout. 7:22 to go in the second period. It's the ice 3-2 over the Aeros. Back round after this.
3-2 hockey game at the Summit as Slivchenko has a chance to tie it up. And one of the problems, Slivchenko makes a good play coming in here, but so often he won't get that puck up in the air. And a good save by Waite as the puck just teeters in that crease as Dropa finally clears it. But I tell you what, Adam, we talked about it before, and that is in that situation, it's not easy to do as he's cutting in there, but he's got to find a way to try and chip that puck over top of the fallen goaltenders, because most goaltenders will go down in that stack pad position and usually make the save.
It's Krupke off the face-off. Drills one in. Indianapolis territory. Back to the line. Townshend held it in. But Lamb had it poke checked away, and Carl Valimont goes back to his own blue line. Valimont. Give it to Lamb. Here comes Krupke. Krupke to center. Give it for Townshend. He'll turn in his own end. And the Aeros have to regroup. 7 minutes to go in the second period. 3-2. Favor of Indianapolis. Graeme Townshend shoots the puck into the zone. Turgeon got there, but it's taken back by Werenka, and he'll fire it over to Trevor Halverson. Here come the ice out at center. It's 3-on-2. Left side, Steve McLaren in on goal. Shoots short side and missed it. Huska turns it back down. Manlow stuff shot, but there was Carl Valimont, read it the whole way. He'll clear it to neutral ice. Mark Lamb, give it to Turgeon. He brings it across the blue line. Cross ice pass. Valimont shoots. Jimmy Waite makes the save. That's Carl Valimont's home at left circle. And the puck is cleared the length of the ice. He lives in that circle. That should have gone in as Valimont goes back at icing. It's the call. 6:15 to go, and it's a 3-2 ice lead.
Too bad Jimmy Waite wasn't $1 million goaltender.
Yeah, I think that was what exactly happened. He has $1 million.
It was $1 million save, though.
Yes, well, big save. Would have tied the game at 3.
Yes, it would, and a good play as Valimont comes down. He blasts one, and going down on the play is Jimmy Waite kicking the puck aside. Adam, why don't you explain what we mean by that?
Well, Carl Valimont has 3 goals this season, and well, 3 of them have all come from that circle, and they've all come against $1 million goaltenders. In other words, goaltenders that have made $1 million in the NHL. Can you name them? Do you remember them?
Well, I know one of them is Essenza. The other one's Joseph, Curtis Joseph, who played for Las Vegas.
And the third one?
And you've got me on the third one. I'm stumped.
John Casey.
John Casey, yes,
Peoria
sir.
Riverman. Sorry, we were going to give you a nice car, but instead?
No parting gifts.
No, we'll give you a snow cone. With no snow. Puck is shot down the ice. No icing, though, so the Aeros will play it back there. Miles O'Connor quickly had to get rid of that thing, and it came over to Al Conroy, and he'll clear to the line, not out. Vukonich held it in. Mike Vukonich tried to get it to Danton. But Maurice was there. Mike Maurice skates in behind the net, and he'll roll one over to Conroy. It was high in the air, and then it slips up over the glass and into the crowd. It's 3-2 Indianapolis with 5:44 to go in the second period. In hockey, we trust. You need to stop by any participating Texaco station, and you'll receive 1 puck buck for each minimum 8-gallon fill-up. A puck buck equals a $1 discount toward tickets. Skating at the aerodromes or Aeros merchandise at any Oshman store. I saw Greener with about 30 of those things in his car. I didn't know how you got a hold of those.
A lot of gas, a lot of commuting.
Yeah, whatever. Here's a puck that's shot out at center.
Did you know that's what the Aeros pay me in puck bucks?
In puck bucks?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get back into that again. Here's Conroy. Gives it to Mark Freer. He'll bring it across the blue line. Freer into the slot, looking for a man to pass to. He gives to Donnelly. Moving right side, shoots right on. Waite the save, and again that puck goes out of play.
Well, Gord Donnelly comes down the wing. I'm sure he wanted to keep that one down. I don't know, maybe he was thinking if I can't put the puck by the goalie, I might as well try and hurt him, as he jams one off of his shoulder, throws it up into the stands.
5:23 to go. Mark Freer, who lost his line mate since last year, Scott Arneal. They played well together last year and finally got it going a little bit this year. Scott Arneal traded to the Utah Grizzlies for Igor Bashkitov, but Mark Freer, one of those kind of guys, you know, you may have to experiment with a guy or two to find out who he's more optimum with, but I think you can put anybody on that line. He's out there without Conroy and Mike Maurice.
Well, Freer has goals in his last 3 games and 17 points over his last 15. So he's picked up the pace in his game since the beginning of the season.
Puck is in the Indianapolis zone. Bruce Cassidy for Indy. Gives to Buchanan, shoots it to center, and Kip Miller advanced it for Robitaille. Patrice Robitaille dropped it back to the line, but that's picked away by Conroy. He'll move it out at center for Mark Freer. Freer trying to get it in there, but Cassidy thwarts that rush. Hurlbut jammed it in there, but the Ice take over. It's shot into the arrow end. Jaques hustles back to play it. And they say no icing. Jaques ripped it out at center ice, and Jeff Buchanan goes back to play it.
A lot of times we talk about referees putting the whistle in their pocket. It looks like the linesmen have done that tonight. There haven't been a lot of icing.
No, the only time we've had whistles when the puck goes out of play. We haven't had a lot of penalties, not a lot of icing, not a lot of offsides. Here's a lead pass for Slivchenko. 2-on-1 with Yo. Slivchenko centered behind Yo. I think Buchanan played that pretty well. I don't know if Slivchenko could have advanced that any better for Yo. Hard to say from this angle. Here's Cassidy the other way. Cassidy centered. The shot fanned on by Halverson. In there, Bashkatov fights for it. It went behind for Robitaille. He's tied up by Krupke. Puck picked up. Here's the shot by Miller. Right on it. Dopson makes the save, and we will take timeout. 4:05 to go in the second. 3-2 Indianapolis. We'll be right back. 3-2 Indianapolis, and tonight the goaltenders playing pretty well.
Yeah, you know, Jimmy Waite with 13 saves, Dopson with 12, and a 3-2 game, as you said, the Ice leading. And both goaltenders have had a relatively good amount of work. They really haven't been peppered, if anything, and I think that you can attribute that to the low amount of penalties in the game so far.
Ice lead at 3-2, 4:05 to go. And off the draw, it scored Krupke. Spins one along the board, Slivchenko. Nice one to the line. It's out at center, and Tropa jammed it into Aero territory. Houston goes back. Valimont behind the cage. He will come away with it. Carl Valimont rolls the pass ahead for Yo. Busting in now. Yo trying to find a man to pass to. He's taken off the puck. And the Ice regroup. It is Brad Werenka at center ice and across the line. Werenka trying to cut in there. He shoots. Dopson the save. Loose in front. Slivchenko couldn't clear it. And it'll go back into the arrow end. Carl Valimont will play it. Here comes Valimont. The pass comes to Bashkatov. Moving in down the right side, and then it's turned away. Back to the line. Valimont held it in. Stopped by Jimmy Waite, and Manlow will play it. Eric Manlow pass out it for Halverson. He takes a bump from Gord Donnelly, and the Aeros go back as Carl Valimont hustles to play it. Valimont pass out at center. It's intercepted, but he at least got it out at center. Danton Cole had that taken away. Ooh, Lamb was almost there to sniff that loose puck away, but Klimovich shoots it ahead, and Gord Donnelly is there. Valimont needs a line change. He's trying to get off the ice so Miles O'Connor can join the play, but the puck is deep in Aero territory. Dopson out of the net. Oh, gave it to Klimovich, or that was Vukonich he gave it to. But the Aeros get it back. Gord Donnelly fired it at center for Turgeon. Here's Townshend trying to move in there. Klimovich cleared that. Klimovich got it back, but it was Turgeon's shot, and that was spanked wide of the net. O'Connor right side. Chipped it down for Townshend, base of the right circle. Graham Townshend trying to work it down. It went to the far boards for Danton Cole, and that is cleared to the line, and it goes out of play. 2:15 to go in the second period. Now, Pete Dineen has been a very busy man, Mike Greenlay. We talked about the trades, and this one just came over the wire. Folks, Mike Greenlay has been traded to the Brazilian national team For who, though? Did they tell you who they traded you for?
Well, they said for a big bag of coffee beans. But you know what? I also heard the rumor that they're also getting futures in that deal. I guess Juan Valdez is coming over in the deal.
Oh, okay. Well, Juan Valdez, a gritty center iceman, and, you know, I don't know what his 5 hole's like, but, you know, hey.
Well, he's got the mule, too. So you got the Juan Valdez and the burro comes in with it. So you got the two. It's a 2-package deal along with the big bag of beans.
All right. Face off to the right side of Jimmy Waite, and the puck is cleared. Not out as O'Connor wings that over the glass and out of play with 2:09 to go. 3-2 Indianapolis, second period.
A pretty good fast-flowing game, and we talked about the low amount of whistles, the low amount of penalties in this game, and both these teams content with keeping the puck moving, except when they dump it over the glass and a lucky fan picks it up. But other than that, this game has gone relatively smoothly, and it hasn't been a really hard-hitting game, pretty free-flowing. And but it's funny. It's kind of funny in that sense. Usually when you have a game like that, you see a lot of open shots. But other than maybe one or two breakaways for both teams, we haven't seen too many wide open chances.
Puck shot out at center. It'll go into the Aeros zone. Dopson's got to hustle, and he'll get there and hold on. I'll tell you, not to slight Troy Gamble or Grant Shervin, but one thing that Rob Dopson, the biggest element he brings, he might be one of the best skating goaltenders in the IHL.
And not only that, he's aggressive. I mean, you talk about goaltenders and being aggressive. Ken Dryden actually said that being aggressive is what gave him his success, and Dopson definitely not afraid. That's the second time tonight he's come out in that fashion and grabbed the puck. It's kind of dangerous because if you miss that puck, you know, a lot of goaltenders will play the puck or put their stick down to block it before they cover it up, but he just elects to grab it with his glove, and he's been successful at it so far tonight.
Miles O'Connor gets a pass off the draw out at center for Freer. He'll bring it in with Conroy. Freer faked the shot, and then it was taken away, and it's shot back down the ice. It's icing if the Aeros can get there. O'Connor on his horse. Danton Cole got there, and he'll play it away. That'll negate the icing. And then Miles O'Connor lowering the boom on Sergei Klimovich. Klimovich wanting a penalty, not going to happen. Puck is back at center, and it's fired ahead for Klimovich. Klimovich across the line. He'll shoot one in there, and Dopson gloves it. Goes on with 1:22 to go in the second. 3-2 hockey game.
Miles O'Connor lowered the boom on Klimovich behind the net, and as we've seen so much tonight, there have been so many situations where you can call it or don't, or maybe not call it, but definitely a good hit here. This is totally clean as he just finished getting rid of the puck. I think he was finishing his check on the play, which is fine. That's what I think. I know you're looking at me like it, but if you look at that play, the puck was in his feet, and just as he got rid of it, that's when Miles, you realize you're watching it in slow motion, and so it looks like there's a lot of time in between the getting rid of the puck and the hit, but I really think that was a good play.
I'm not concerned about the timing. I'm looking at the left hand of Miles O'Connor sticking out there, and I'm not sure if that was a penalty or not. Puck is cleared out at center, and Hurlbut goes back to play it. Puck is fired ahead in the ice. We'll turn it around. Jaques. And it went back in behind. Here come the Indianapolis ice. It's out at center. Kip Miller rolled it ahead for Lecompte. Lecompte across the line. He's checked by Yo. Lecompte trying to move in. Hurlbut is there, but it came out in front. The shot by Werenka ricocheted wide. And here come the Aeros. Bashkatov. He's got 2 tonight with Slivchenko. Slivchenko right in. Hit the crossbar. And a penalty coming up, and Slivchenko is down as he was drilled. And now Jaques wants to go with Werenka. Jaques and Werenka are going to fight as Slivchenko is not getting up right now. And then Werenka dumps Jaques to the ice, and the linesmen get in there.
I'm not sure what happened on that play, but it was after the shot had been made, and I think obviously Slivchenko off balance getting in there as he was being held up a bit on the play, but I believe he was thrown into the boards after that one, and he is slow to get up as Jaques and Werenka go at it at center ice.
Well, they'll get 5-minute majors each, and Werenka, I don't know if he tore his jersey or not, but off they go. Jaques and Werenka. Slivchenko very slow to get up, but he looks okay. He's going to get up under his own power as Jerry Mines helped him out. Slivchenko hitting the crossbar on that last play, and I'll tell you, that was close.
Well, so far I like these two guys together, and Bashkatov and Slivchenko. Bashkatov this time feeding Slivchenko as
He just chips it up over the bar, and actually he slides through the boards pretty hard, but I don't think it was really an intentional play on the Indianapolis Ice players' part, as he's actually holding him a little bit, if anything, and just the speed of both players going down. I don't see anything that I thought he might have been pushed into the boards, and you realize that at the lower part of the boards it's really solid, and that's where Slivchenko, going full speed, slid right into, and so he got shaken up, but he's back up on the play, and it looks like he'll stay on the ice.
23 seconds to go, so the Aeros will get the bulk of the power play in the third period. Kip Miller is the man that goes off for holding. Bashkatov will stay out with Slivchenko, Yo. Lamb and O'Connor defensively. Nothing extra in the Jaques bout with Werenka. They got 5 each for fighting. Jaques now has 2 fights in the game, so he can't fight again or he's kicked out.
Yeah, 3 fights constitutes a game misconduct, and that's true.
I think when a player, we got a discrepancy here. Slivchenko, I think, has to come off.
I was going to ask you the same thing. When a player's hurt, doesn't he have to come off? As I saw him stay on there, and that's right. You just picked it out. I was thinking of the same thing, but wasn't quite sure. And now they'll have to get a little change up there. Only 23 seconds left.
Yeah, just let Conroy take the shift here. We talked about how great it looks having Bashkatov out there with Slivchenko tonight. That could be something down the stretch here to keep an eye on. And let's not forget about guys playing for jobs next year. Lamb gets one over left side. O'Connor drills the shot. It went wide. Bashkatov gathered it in, trying to move it back along the boards. He and Danton Cole, as you mentioned, former teammates, going at it. They were teammates in Utah this year. Bashkatov, right side, cuts one down. Oh, but he gave the puck away to Ivan Dropa, and that'll be the period. Buzzer sounds, and that'll be the second period. So 40 minutes of action gone from the Summit. And our score, it's the Indianapolis Ice 3, the Houston Aeros 2, and we will have more from the Summit right after this. Back at the Summit, a 3-2 hockey game. The Indianapolis Ice leading the Houston Aeros as the teams exchanging goals after the first period. Mike Greenlay in a good period of action. It's a defensive battle. It's got a lot like an NHL feeling out there.
It does. The guys are really playing, and it's kind of funny that you say that, because it's pretty wide open, and like I said before, usually in a wide open hockey game like this, you're going to see a lot more wide open chances, but the goaltenders are making the saves, and we haven't seen a lot of scoring.
The Aeros must be very happy to have Igor Bashkitov in their team. He scored to tie the game at 2 on a terrific feed, but the Indianapolis Ice would come back and lead it 3-2 on this goal here.
Well, it was just a good play as they moved into the slot, and it was a good hard shot, and it's deflected by a hurl butt, and that just kind of throws Dopson right off kilter there, as it'll be deflected shot right up back up into the net. And it's on a giveaway that this play results, and that's the problem. There's a good defensive play by Hurlbutt, but he doesn't get rewarded for it. And Dopson, of course, sliding across the crease, doesn't get rewarded on his good move either.
Klimovich is 9th of the year at 8:22 from Miller, and the Ice lead it by a score of 3-2. But don't worry about Mr. Dopson tonight. He's played very well, including a couple of great saves.
Yeah, he's made some good saves, and this one a good glove save on a man who possesses a very good shot, Ivan Dropa, and he deflects that one up into the stands.
And then on the other side, Jimmy Waite's pretty good as well.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Waite makes a good save on Slivchenko, who cuts in, and this is a tough timing save for a goaltender, and he does time it right. And again, Dropa there to make a good play to get it out of there, because Bashkatov was right in there.
And then Slivchenko had another couple of chances. In fact, he drew a penalty that'll give the Aeros a power play in the third.
Yeah, he came in, broke in all alone, and it was Kip Miller who had to drag him down. The puck goes up and off the crossbar, and Slivchenko having a real good game. We said that him and Bashkatov would most likely play very well together, and they are. Slivchenko just misses this opportunity if it goes off the crossbar, and they're on the power play right now as a result of that penalty.
So Igor Bashkitov with 2 goals tonight. Aeros looking to spread the wealth a little bit. Vadim Slivchenko, he's got himself a couple of great chances. Mark Freer's got some chances. Hopefully the Aeros will spread around, get some goals, and make things look good going down to the stretch run of this hockey game.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of players having a good game, Al Conroy being another one of them. So I hope to see the rest of the players really pick up the pace here and try and get back into this hockey game.
Oh, and on the backside, how about the game Carl Valamont's having tonight?
He is having a very good game. He's up on the play a lot. He's a good offensive defenseman. I mean, he can play a lot of positions, as we've seen, but he definitely is playing a good game tonight. He's had a couple chances, and hopefully he can still be strong defensively defensively as well.
He's also very smart right up here, Carl Valamon. All right, 3-2 Indianapolis. They lead it in the second intermission. We'll have more from the Summit right after this. In the second intermission, the Aeros trailing the Indianapolis Ice by a score of 3-2. And let's take a look at tonight's second period stats brought to you by Texas Jeep and Eagle Dealers. Shots are even at 16 apiece. 4 penalties for the Ice, 5 for the Houston Aeros, and the power plays 1 of 3 for Indianapolis. The Aeros are 0 for 1. Aeros and the Indianapolis Ice will go at it again on Friday night, and then that game will kind of be the one that sets the Aeros up for a big weekend. 3 games in 3 nights. In fact, they play 3 and 3 nights, then they come back and they have the exact same schedule 4 and 5 nights next week, and that 3 and 3 of next week begins the Aeros on a 9-day 5-game road trip, and that'll be their last big road trip of the year. Let's take a look at tonight's Columbia HCA game summary, and it started with Igor Bashkitov's first as a Houston Aero at 2:38, but then 2 unanswered goals by Indianapolis. Yuri Krivoishov from Mike Vukonich and Sergei Klimovich at 6:25, and then Danton Cole on the power play from Miller and Krivoishov, and at 14:43 that made it 2-1 in favor of Indianapolis. We move to the second period, and Igor Bashkitov from Vadim, Slivchenko and Mike Yo tied the game at 2 at 2:59, but then Sergei Klimovich from Kip Miller at 8:22, and they've given the Ice a 3-2 lead. When we return, third period action. Can the Aeros snap their 6-game unbeaten streak? We'll find, or losing streak. Right after this, we'll find out. Ice leading the Aeros 3-2. And we're ready to start the third period. Fans, you need to mark your calendars. The second annual Houston Aeros Hockey Camp is coming to an aerodrome near you this summer. Camps will run for 1 week each, July 15th through the 19th at the Willowbrook Aerodrome, and then the 22nd through the 26th at the Sugarland Aerodrome. Rob Dopson and Graeme Townshend will be the instructors for both weeks, plus there'll be special guest appearances throughout the camp. For more information, call the Aeros at 621-2842. Again, that number is 621-2842. Well, the Aeros in their stretch run for the playoffs, and we've touched upon it now for the better part of, well, 2 months. Team, they got to catch the Atlanta Knights, and they are 14 points back of the Atlanta Knights. But do you think it's going to be easy for Atlanta? Check this out. They're in Orlando tonight. Then they play back-to-back against Utah this weekend. Then they're at Indy. Then they go back-to-back at home against the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Now, it gets worse. Look at this. Las Vegas at home, a pair with Detroit at home. Then they got to go to Michigan and at Cleveland, and then home against Orlando. Every one of those teams is no worse than second place in that division. So Dave Tippett and his Houston Aeros, yeah, they've got to win also, but it's not going to be easy for Atlanta. We're ready to start this third period. The Aeros on the power play is the Aeros looking to get this thing tied up.
The Aeros certainly need to do is win games, and I think they should start right here. They're only down 1 goal to this team, and they have that power play coming into this third period. And a goal right here would be paramount towards getting them going here. They've played a pretty solid game.
Minute and a half to go in the power play here. Is it nice to have the fresh ice? Does that help? Is that an advantage?
Well, you move it around a lot better depending on how much, I guess, water's on the ice down deep in the zone, because, you know, it might even help them actually. As a lot of times you'll find the players, the puck will get stuck on the ice, so as they try and move it around if there's too much water. So hopefully it's dried off a little bit, and if it is, it'll be good slick passing, and hopefully they can blast some pucks in there and get in there for some rebounds.
Referee tonight is Mike Wicklum, and he is chatting with the scoring bench. Why, I do not know. Oh, they're waiting for the goal judge. That's why. Goal judge went to have a cold one. He's ready. There he is. Oh boy.
Well, he has to step out of the way while they close the doors there, so.
Game on.
Yeah.
Game on.
Zamboni. Game on.
Here comes the Aeros on the power play. Lamb. He'll move it through the neutral zone and dump the puck into the Indy end. Back they go. Buchanan cranked it off the glass. It'll go down the ice. Dopson will slow. He'll fire it over to Mark Lamb as he's watched by Danton Cole. Lamb fired it In behind the net, and Vadim Slivchenko is there. He's got an assist tonight. Slivchenko will romp through the neutral zone. Slivchenko hits the line. Slivchenko cutting in now, looks for the pass, but it was tipped away by Dropa. It came back to the line for Mark Lamb. Rolled it down, Slivchenko. He's got Yo in front, but couldn't get it to him. Slivchenko gives to Bashkatov. Igor Bashkitov looking for Slivchenko. That's knocked away by Dropa. Cleared, not out. Here's Bashkatov. Right in, shoots, scores! He scores! The question is, was it Bashkatov or Yo? But the Aeros have tied the game at 3. It's a power play goal.
And I tell you what, the Indianapolis Ice are livid, and they are really, really going after the referee right now, as it looked like an Indianapolis Ice player was dragged down. Then Bashkatov picked up the puck and went in and scored. I think they thought there should have been a penalty on the play. As the Aeros working it, and right there, as he goes down, I think they're looking for a penalty on Slivchenko. Bashkatov has all the time in the world, and Bashkatov will get the goal, as Yo didn't touch it as it went in the net. But that's a 3rd goal of the night for Bashkatov, as he'll pick up a loose puck again, and he'll go right in and score. And like I said before, it's the Ice 3, Bashkatov 3.
Here is Mark Freer at center ice. He'll turn one into the Indianapolis zone. Back to play it is Yuri Klimovich. Firing off the boards. Lecompte had it knocked away by Donnelly. Aeros play it near side. Here is Slivchenko. They're announcing Slivchenko.
I think
No, that's got to be changed. Here's a shot right on, and Jimmy Waite makes the save. That's got to be Bashkatov who gets the goal. And the Aeros.
57 seconds.
I don't know. For those of you watching on Prime Sports, I think we're going to get another look at it, but the referee clearly dropped the ball, unless there's something we missed.
Well, no, it was obviously Bashkatov who shot it. He put it right up underneath the arm, and Yo, who's in front of the net, didn't get a piece of it before it went in the net. So it will be Bashkatov who gets the goal. A good hard shot up high. He went for the same spot, and as it rolls into the net, that's when the players went after the referee, saying, wait a second, there should have been a penalty on that play.
Now the puck is picked up by Indianapolis. Lecompte to pass, intercepted by O'Connor. Rink wide for Townshend. He's right in, shoots. Oh, didn't get good wood on it. But Miller is there. He'll escort it and move it out at center. Robitaille, the pass. Got through to Lecompte, but went deep, and Dopson comes out to play it. He'll move it up the boards. Donnelly trying to chase it down, and he'll bang that the length of the ice. No icing, as they say. Klimovich could have played it. Waite comes out of the net. Fired it to Cassidy. Knocked away by Graeme Townshend, but Klimovich gathered it in with 2 minutes gone in this 3rd period. Tied at 3. Hurlbutt goes back. Hurlbutt in the corner. He'll turn it around. Hurlbutt bangs one off the boards. Graeme Townshend is there. He's shouldered off the wall. And Lamb will take over in his own end. Mark Lamb. So far without a point. Lamb across the line, drills the shot wide of the net. Picked up by Hurlbutt. Slides it back down for Lamb. He's drilled along the boards. Turgeon came in there. It's rolled to the near side for Eric Manlow. Takes a bump from Conroy. Turgeon digging away at it. But it's picked up by Ryan Huska. And he will move it around. Huska's pass comes out and out at center. Ice trying to bring it ahead. Manlow looking ahead for Trevor Halverson. Here come the ice. Manlow trying to move it in, and Mark Lamb takes over. This one off the boards, and Conroy turns it around. Give it to Turgeon. They push it into the Indianapolis zone. Jimmy Waite comes out of the net, flings it to the line. Lamb intercepts it, poked it down, but that's taken back by Ivan Dropa. Pass to the right side for Manlow. Back over Halverson. A shot that just skids wide of the net. Holding is Cassidy. He tried to drill a shot that was blocked by Yo, and here he comes for Bashkatov. Yo across the line. Yo cutting in, gives it to Slivchenko. It's in there, but Klimovich cleared it. Oh, and Donnelly misplayed it. Here come the ice. Danton Cole charging in on goal. Dropped it back. But I'll tell you, Carl Valimont played that beautifully, but there will be a penalty on the Houston Aeros. We'll sort it out when we return. 3.5 gone in the 3rd. We'll be back right after this, but first a word from Southwest Airlines. We're tied at 3.
Back at the Summit, it's a 3-3 game, but this Indianapolis Ice will have a chance on the power play as is dropped back, and a big slash by Donnelly on the leg. And he'll sit in the box for slashing, and this will give Indianapolis, who's 1 for 3 tonight on the power play, a chance to go at it again.
Miles O'Connor picks up a puck off the face-off. And he'll shoot that right back down the ice. The Aeros doing a good job on the face-offs tonight. And they win that one and shoot it the length of the ice. Away the Indianapolis ice come. Pass out at center. Kip Miller got by O'Connor. Centered. Cole cutting in there, but Krupke rode in around there. And he'll drill it along the boards. It'll go the length of the ice. Jimmy Waite comes out of the net. We are tied at 3, 1.5 to go in the Indianapolis power play. Pass out at center goes into the arrow end. O'Connor trying to clear. Maurice gathered it in, and Miles O'Connor will try it again, and he threw it right off the stick. And Lamb finally able to get it out at center. Mark Lamb hits the line. Lamb cuts in shorthanded, worked it back out at center, and Kelly Hurt is there. It is Valimont, and he will just turn and shoot that the length of the ice. 3.5, make that 4.5 now gone by. In the third, tied at 3. Hurt takes Klimovich down. Battle for the corner. Hurt is there. Give it to Lamb behind the net. Lamb right there shoots. Oh, Jimmy Waite makes a save. That thing just slides behind him. Valimont to drive. Oh, and Jimmy Waite right there. He'll hold on. So a couple of chances from Lamb, from Valimont. Short-handed, and the game remains tied at 3 with just about 5 minutes gone in the third. 41 seconds left to Donnelly.
Good work behind the net by Lamb as he'll step out. And boy, look at you. I mean, if you're enjoying the game on Prime Sports, Waite was already on the ice by the time that Lamb came around the net and was fortunate to make the save, and then a good hard shot by Valimont from the point, and he just decides to cover up after that little flurry.
Face off in the circle to the right side. Jimmy Waite, Freer, Conroy, Hurlbut, and Jaques. The ice lineup with Patrice Robitaille, along with Sergei Klimovich and Eric Lecompte defensively. They'll bring out a unit of Bruce Cassidy and Brad Werenka. And at center ice, Robitaille overskates it. Freer dumps it back into his own end. Jaques give to Hurlbut with 25 remaining on the man advantage. Puck goes down to the Indianapolis zone. Werenka goes back to play. 18 seconds to go on the power play. Cassidy. Forecheck by Conroy. Out for Robitaille. He'll bring it across the line. Robitaille getting set. Centered one. That's knocked away. Freer trying to find a way to play it. He held on to it, and they're going to say a closed puck, and they're going to take him off for that. He closed his hand on the puck, and they're going to call a minor on that.
Well, after a whole game of not calling penalties, that's a pretty weak one right there, I think, as he had it in his glove, spun around and was dropping it, but well, maybe he held on to it too long, as he'll go to the box. And so this will give only 5-second 5-on-3, but as he catches it, he holds onto it and spins around, and maybe that was just a little too long as he finally drops it. But a call that maybe the Aeros don't need right now, as Donnelly will be out on the ice in 5 seconds, but right now it's a 5-on-3.
Face-off right in the slot, too. This is a big face-off. Conroy won it, but it's picked up by Lecompte. And now the penalty to Donnelly is over. Werenka winds, fakes the shot, now moves in, fakes the shot again, trying to turn it down. It's intercepted. The Aeros have it, and Donnelly will shoot it down the ice. So now they can make their changes.
So the Aeros kill off the one penalty, and now they have another one tacked right onto the end of it, pretty much.
Up the ice, Indianapolis will come. Klimovich shoots it into the arrow end. Donnelly make that Dopson. He'll play it. And the puck is up and out of play with 6 minutes gone in the third in a 3-3 game.
Well, the Aeros did good to come back in this game and get that goal, the third of the night. And right now they're calling it Slivchenko, but I mean,
no, I think they just turned it around.
Good, they've just changed it to they've just changed the goal to Igor Bashkitov, his third of the night, as a couple hats get thrown onto the ice as they just announced that. And it was quite obvious to us that he'd gotten the third goal of the night, but they changed it officially now, and the Aeros doing a good job there, but they've got to try and stay out of the box in this third period. They've done a good job discipline-wise all game, but right now they need to really concentrate on getting another goal with 14 minutes left. You don't want to leave any more to chance, and they keep throwing hats out on the ice.
Here's a great stat. The Aeros are without a win when Bashkatov scores 3 goals. Of course, if you're just joining us, I'm just having fun. Igor Bashkitov in his first game as a Houston Aero. I should have said they haven't lost. Got to keep it positive, right?
Yeah,
they haven't lost when Bashkatov scores 3. Here's the puck. banged off the glass, takes a weird hop. Miller's got it, shoots. Dopson, a marvelous left-hand save. Puck is cleared, but not out. Held in by Werenka. Vukonich fighting for it. It came to the line. Ropa held it in, rolled it down. Vukonich in behind the cage with a minute 10 to go on the power play. Werenka gives it to Miller, works it back to the line. Here's the drive, ricocheted wide of the net. Picked up by Kip Miller, base of the right circle. Gives to Werenka, back to Miller. The former Michigan State Spartan sliced it down into the corner. Miller got it back. And Kip Miller waiting. Gives to Buchanan, centered one, but it went wide. Cole gets it, but he's tied up by Kelly Hurt. Can he clear it? No! Held in by Indianapolis. Down the left side. They fight for it. And there's O'Connor grappling in there. They continue to grind it some more. And O'Connor dumped him down. Referee says play on. Here's Miller, the good. Oh, big wrist shot, and it went wide of the net. Puck is jammed away by Kelly Hurt, and that'll go down the ice with 23 seconds to go in the Indy power play. Ash is out at center. But the Aeros have got it. Krupke. He'll fire one in there, and Werenka turns it around. Werenka's pass came to Robitaille, but it was tipped away by Maurice. Alamont, he'll shoot that off the glass and down the ice, and that will do it for the power play. Werenka, as the penalty is over, teams it by the side. It's Robitaille. Dodged a Conroy check. Puck is at center, and Lecompte brings it across the arrow line. Lecompte waiting right side, center one, turning his Robitaille, the shot, right on, scores! Sergei Klimovich beating Dopson upstairs, and the ice just after their power play expires take a 4-3 lead with 12:13 to go.
And what a shot as Klimovich gets his second goal of the game as he puts it right upstairs under the bar. Dopson not much of a chance on this one. A good hard shot, and actually give even more credit to Klimovich because Maurice had a stick around him, but I guess if you really look at it, you have to have the stick not around his waist, but actually on his stick, or try and hold him away from that puck. But Klimovich fights it off and jams one upstairs under the bar. And with his second goal of the game, it'll give him 10 on the season.
Back in the Indy zone, the Ice have got it. It was Klimovich, couldn't move it ahead. Cassidy chased it down. I guess it's going to take 4 goals by Bashkatov to pull this one out. Here comes Klimovich down the right side, trying to move it in. That's offsides, and play whistle down, and we take time out. 11:51 to go in the third. The Ice have just jumped out to a 4-3 lead, and we'll have more right after this. Ice with a 1-goal lead. The Aeros have some good news. Make it 4 in a row for the Atlanta Knights. They lost tonight in Orlando 6-5. So the Aeros with a chance, if they can win, they'd be down to 12. Hurlbutt at center. Takes a weird hop off the glass. It's back at center for Mike Yeo. Yeo trying to dipsy doodle around the check there of Trevor Halverson. And the Ice are there. Jeff Buchanan trying to get away from Slivchenko. Slivchenko caught up with him, and then the puck was turned around. Here come the Aeros. Slivchenko centered one, but it was knocked away. Another one. Oh, went upstairs. It was deflected. I'm not so sure that didn't go off the upstairs portion of Igor Bashkitov. Looked like that was up on him as a shot drilled off Dopson, and the puck is out of play.
Well, I think Slivchenko tried to center it. It got knocked back to him, and then it got centered again, and I think it actually hit him in the helmet, and then they dump it in, and that one was going top corner. Of course, Dopson really took it off the wrist. I don't think he had, he actually, I guess he didn't misplay it, but from a shot that far out, you know, a lot of people think, well, those are kind of easy, but that puck does some funny things, just like a baseball would, as it twists and turns, and it's kind of like a curveball sometimes. Dopson deflects it up in the stands for a face-off.
Off the draw, it's Miles O'Connor in behind the net. Rolls one to the near side from Turgeon. And there, Eric Lecompte battling for it. As O'Connor's got him tied up, and the Aeros will move it up and out at center. Lamb. Pass to Sylvain Turgeon. Turgeon crossed the line, dropped it for Townshend. Puck went down for Turgeon. Gives to Lamb. was knocked away. Puck in front, pounded on by Turgeon. The shot right on. Waite stopped it. Oh, hold on. Ew, a tough save there for Jimmy Waite, because after he made it, those are the kind of shots that usually have big rebounds to him, but he made a nice play there to hold on to it.
He did. He was deep in his net, and he went down in the butterfly style position, and a good job by Townshend in front as he jams away at it, and finally Turgeon will get a shot at it. A good low shot, and actually a little bit, about a couple inches higher, and that a found 5-hole, as Waite was right on his goal line, and he makes a save, covers up the rebound, as the Aeros were sniffing around for one, but a good save by Waite, and actually a little bit fortunate. A lot of goaltenders would have lifted their stick, but he kept his stick on the ice, and that's what made the save for him.
He sure looks like he goes down a lot.
He does. He's a more or less butterfly goaltender, but he's been going down early tonight, earlier than I normally see him, and that might be good for the Aeros.
Here's Turgeon's shot, and that was blocked. I guess you could say he's not his namesake. Doesn't really wait. Goes right down. Puck is in the Indianapolis zone. Lamb. He's in the left circle from Miller. Lamb trying to move it back to the line. That's tipped away. And Robitaille clear it new. Lamb got it back. Got it back deep into the Indy zone. Worked away by Werenka. He's drilled by Graeme Townshend. And the puck is cleared. Center ice. Miller after it. Kip Miller sliding down the right side. Hit by O'Connor, who came smoking in there. Puck is rolled away. It's back to the line. Werenka held it in, but that's kicked away by Turgeon. He'll get it to neutral ice. Mark Lamb late in the shift, I think, wants a line change, and he gives it to Graeme Townshend, but that's worked away. Danton Cole fired it right back to center ice, and Carl Valimont is there. Valimont carries across the Indy blue line, tees it up, shoots, left pad save made by Jimmy Waite. Halfway through the third, Aeros down 4-3. Danton Cole, right side. He's attacked by Conroy, a shot by Vukonich right on. And Dopson there to play it away. Freer trying to shake off the check. The puck is loose. Jump on the ice, turning. Vukonich, a centering pass came down the left side for Klimovich. Shot stopped by Dopson. Now Klimovich again behind the net. Trying to center it. Kupke got in front of the centering pass. Rolled back down into the corner for Danton Cole. And Carl Valimont trying to push it away. Danton Cole behind the net. Pushed by Freer. Hey, right now the Aeros just chasing the puck in their own end. Here's a shot by Buchanan wide, puck centered. That's knocked away. Here's a shot by Klimovich, that went wide. And Conroy can't clear it. Second effort is out at center. His pass for Maurice just too far. Buchanan tipped the line. Oop, that was just out at center. Conroy could not hold it in. With 9 minutes to go in this one, it's 4-3. The ice lead it, and we'll have more right after this.
Back at the Summit, 4-3 ice as both goaltenders seeing more and more action. As a good hard slap shot by Miller and a good toe save by Dopson on that one. And down at the other end, Jimmy Waite doing his part too, as looks like Lamb comes out from the side of the net. And I tell you what, Jimmy Waite just got a piece of that, or it'd be a tie game.
Puck is out at center ice, but it's tipped away by Hurlbutt. Along the boards, and Bashkatov goes back to gather it in. Long lead pass for Slivchenko. What a pass that is. And then Slivchenko hauled down, but no penalty. What a pass from his own end by Sergei Klimovich. How he found Slivchenko, I will never know. That was beautiful. Pass is out at center, and the Aeros have got it. Couldn't find the handle though, and Bashkatov turned it back into the Indianapolis zone. Manlow goes to play it. Center ice, Jaques. Picked up by Bashkatov. 3 goals tonight. Now Jaques, does he want to go? If he fights, he's out of here, and here we go. Now Jaques then turtled down. He had to, though.
Oh, he didn't turtle. I think he got dragged down.
But I'm saying is he showed that his glove, I shouldn't say turtle, that's a bad term. Let me rephrase. But he knew he didn't want to fight, because if he fights, he's out of the hockey game. 3 fights and you're out.
He'll just get a roughing on this one. You're right.
Yeah, I want to reiterate. Turtling is a very bad term to use. Steve Jaques was not doing that.
Well, people don't understand what you meant, but what we meant by that is, and that is when a player turtles, they say he just covers up like a turtle would, but in this case, he gets dragged down a bit by Halverson, and they originally going to go at it. And you're right, Jaques is smart to keep his gloves on, but he'll just get pulled down, and Halverson will fall on top of him.
Yeah. Steve Jaques, I've never known him to turtle from anything.
He's standing up to anybody, but yeah, that is true, and you're right. He doesn't need a fight right now. That would definitely get him tossed from the game, and he's having a relatively strong one.
So we'll go 4 aside as minors to Halverson and to Jaques for roughing.
And the guys to have on the ice for that are
four speedsters. You have Bashkatov, of course, with Slivchenko. They can really move it. Valamont's one of the fastest guys on the team. And you have Miles O'Connor out there who can skate pretty good too. So you got some speed out there. It should be a pretty good shift to watch here.
The ice control it. It's Slivchenko near side. Bashkatov took it away. Lines it over to O'Connor. Miles O'Connor at a right point. Floats the pass to Valamont. Lets a shot go wide. Slivchenko in after it, but it was Dropa that picked it up and cleared it to center. Kip Miller at center. Got it into Aero territory. Robitaille scraped off the puck, and Slivchenko will gather it in. Vadim Slivchenko gives to Bashkatov. Moving in across the line. Bashkatov trying to feather one for Slivchenko. That's knocked away. And Miles O'Connor is back to play it. O'Connor in his own end for Bashkatov. Trying to move it through the neutral zone. Nice move. Gives to Turgeon. Leading a goal. Stopped by Jimmy Waite. Wow. There was Slivchenko. Or make that Turgeon into the slot. We'll let that go. And Jimmy Waite makes the save and holds on.
Did you see the move that Bashkatov made right at the blue line? And he dumps it off to Turgeon, who cuts back to the slot. And a good hard shot. The only problem is he threw it into the midsection of Waite as Bashkatov does a lot of the work, feeds it to Turgeon, and Jimmy Waite comes up with a pretty good save nevertheless as it was going up high, and that's the second shot this period Turgeon has had from that slot, and he can't seem to find a goal as Jimmy Waite's made a couple good saves off of those shots. It still remains 4-3 Indianapolis Ice.
Lamb with Turgeon, Donnelly, and Hurlbut. Face off to the right side of Jimmy Waite. Sticks down, top of the puck. Aeros have it. Donnelly's got it. Slot, shoots. Waite to save, and he'll hold on. Boy, Gord Donnelly had a great chance between the circles, but Jimmy Waite came out and made a nice save on Gord Donnelly.
Gord Donnelly this year hasn't found the mark that often, as he's known more as a defensive type of defenseman. He has 3 goals and was trying to find his 4th there as it comes off right from the face-off, and Donnelly in there down low on that part, and then a couple good shots in the slot, and the Aeros can't find the mark right now. Jimmy Waite having to come up with a couple pretty strong saves.
Face off in the circle again to the right side of Jimmy Waite. Off the face-off. The Ice have got it. It is Klimovich had his pocket picked by Lamb. Gives to Turgeon. Back to the line. Donnelly shoots, and it was cranked wide of the cage. Hurlbut trying to hold. But Danton Cole able to force it out at center. And it's Klimovich across the line. Shoots, and a blocker save made by Dopson. We're down to 7 minutes to play in a 4-3 Indianapolis lead. Donnelly. Give it to Turgeon. Through the neutral zone, the pass intercepted, and the Ice will take over. Danton Cole, pass ahead for that's actually Vukonich, and then it went off the stick of Hurlbut on to Rob Dopson. He'll hold on.
Kind of a dangerous play there as the puck's centered, and as you said, Hurlbut's off of his stick, and Dopson had to be sharp on that one.
Man, Saturday Night on Ice continues on UPN 20 this Saturday from March 23rd from Fort Wayne. You can see the Aeros take on the Fort Wayne Comets on Saturday, March 23rd, 7 o'clock. Tune into UPN 20 and KPRC Radio, your home for Houston Aeros hockey. Mike Hurlbut, who's normally been playing with Gord Krupke, has found himself paired a little bit more so now, not as much with Krupke tonight as he has with Steve Jaques. It is Werenka. He'll shoot it out of center, though hasn't had to play with Jaques too much. He's had 2 fights, Jaques has, and a minor. Here's a bad pass intercepted by Conroy, trying to center one for Freer. That's knocked away. Conroy in the corner had it pushed away, and Kip Miller will move to center. Miller through the neutral zone. The pass came over to Lecompte. He was bumped by Valamont. Freer will go to play. Mark Freer chased it down behind the net. Freer gives the puck to Valamont. In my mind, I think he's been the best defenseman out there tonight for the Houston Aeros. Here left side, comes one in, and that's tipped away and out of play with 5:58 to go. 3rd period, and the Ice lead at 4-3. It's nip and tuck the whole way here. The Aeros just can't seem to get over the hump here and keep this thing tied.
And Brad Werenka is a very talented defenseman. Started out his career in the Edmonton Oilers organization and has moved around a little bit.
The Indianapolis Ice never made the playoffs last year, and that was kind of what spelled the end for Dwayne Sutter. And then Bob Ferguson took over, and all they need are 4 points to become the 5th IHL team in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. Two years in a row running, they haven't made the playoffs, and I'm sure they're chomping at the bit to do so.
Bashkatov wins the draw, but it was pushed away by Robitaille. And the Aeros regroup at neutral ice. Miles O'Connor. Get back to Gord Donnelly. And it's Bashkatov. Couldn't find the handle. And it's turned in by Robitaille. Bumped by Donnelly. Puck into the corner. It's Kip Miller, right wing boards. Back to the line for Werenka. The shot made it to Dopson. He'll hold on with 5:36 to go on a 4-3 lead for Indianapolis.
And you talk about the defensive play of Bashkatov as well. He was right in there standing next to Dopson after that shot. So, I mean, it's a good thing to see a player that's able to come out, score the 3 goals, but also be deep down in his own end, taking care of business down there as well. It's really a compliment to be a two-way player, and Bashkatov seems to bring that as well, along with a good work ethic so far that we've seen.
Played both ends of the ice well tonight, and that is what Pete Dineen was hoping for. It is Buchanan off the face-off. At a right point, the shot ricocheted wide of the net. After it, Miles O'Connor, but Halverson got there, but it's pushed right to Gord Donnelly, and the Aeros will move it up ice. Donnelly trying to shake off a check. Move it up the right side, Bashkatov. Couldn't find Slivchenko, and the ice go back for it. Halverson turned it into the Aero end. O'Connor in a foot race. Huska in after it. O'Connor dishes Huska to the boards, and the Aeros take over. Mike Yeo floats the pass to Bashkatov, but Ivan Dropa, turned the puck over to Bashkatov, trying to shake off one check, couldn't do it, and the ice will turn and clear it out at center ice. Here is Jaques. He'll give the puck to Bashkatov, moving down the right side, cutting in, couldn't get a shot away, and it is loose, and here come the Indianapolis Ice. Moves it out at center, and the puck shot in by Buchanan, and the puck takes a weird hop, bounced out in front, but Jaques got there to play it. Steve Jaques for Mike Hurlbutt. Fired one off the boards to Kelly Hurd, but the icer there, Klimovich, turned it back into the Aero end. Down to 4.5 to go in this one. 4-3 Indianapolis. Lamb hits the line, dropped it back for Kelly Hurd. Hurd trying to move off a check, and here's a penalty coming to the Indianapolis Ice, and the Aeros are going to get a power play when we return. 4:21 to go. Do not go away. The Aeros on the power play, down 4-3. We'll be right back.
Back at the Summit, the Ice lead at 4-3, but the Aeros will have a chance on the power play as Danton Cole gets a little too much of Hurd on this play and throws him to the ice. And so the Aeros will have a chance on the power play, and a hooking call, I believe.
And that takes us to our high-low rule book. And hooking's when a player uses a sticker blade to hook an opponent. And that is what Danton Cole did to Kelly Hurd and the Aeros, with a chance to tie on the power play. Conroy, Hurd, and Turgeon with Lamb and Mike Hurlbutt. Puck is shot into the Indianapolis zone. Chased down by Turgeon. Back to the line, it's Hurlbutt. Sliced it for Hurd, in behind the net, looks in front. It came back to the line, Lamb. Getting set on the power play for Al Conroy. To the line, Lamb shoots. Waite stopped it, rebound! Waite just wide, bang away at it! Wow, Jimmy Waite saved, rebound! And Conroy fired it from a wide open net, and he fired it wide. Oh, here's the drive. Jimmy Waite makes another save. Oh man, standing on his lips again to make the save. He made 3 or 4 gems there in front, and the Aeros were turned away.
Hurlbutt at one point put his hands in the air. He thought he'd scored, but Waite made the save.
Here's a pass. Lamb had it jammed away, and that'll go right back down the ice. Jimmy Waite. Oh man, some unbelievable saves. And the Aeros are at bay. It's still 4-3. Bashkatov, a pass, and Freer was just a little over-eager. He was offsides, and they'll bring the face-off back to center.
That's the mark of a good goaltender, is it crunch time, which this certainly is. 3:22 remaining in the third period. He's able to come up with big saves, and here he is in front making a lot of saves, rebounds and all, and at this point, it's Hurlbutt who jams away at it, and then Turgeon will get flattened as they jam away at it. I think Hurlbutt thought Conroy put that in the net, but somehow Jimmy Waite got his stick on that and deflected it up over the net, and after that, Hurlbutt got another slap shot, but still Jimmy Waite was the better man on that situation.
Slivchenko turning out at center. He'll give it to Hurlbutt. And now Mark Lamb at center ice, watched by Manlow. Mark Lamb turning in his own end. Looking for a man to pass to. It is Hurlbut with 41 to go on the power play. Give it to Bashkatov. Slides one for Slivchenko. Slivchenko for Freer behind the net. Freer worked it back to the line. Hurlbut's got it. Mike Hurlbut, give it to Slivchenko. Left side, threw it off the skate to Manlow. That'll go down the ice. And that'll do it for the, well, that was about 23 seconds, enough for one more rush. Mark Lamb in his own end gives to Igor Bashkitov. Bashkatov charging across the line, trying to get through. Not going to happen. Slivchenko center one. Here's O'Connor in, shoots. Waite, a marvelous save and a breakaway for Robitaille. Short-handed, he's in alone. Robitaille, Waite shoots. Great save by Dopson. Wow, and it's turned away. And the puck is rolled back in front. And the power play is over, but Rod Dopson did exactly what you need your goaltender to do to keep you in a game and put you in a position to win. In this case, a position to tie. Aeros down with 2:05 to go in the game, down by a goal. Valamont's pass out at center. Give it to Hurd. Hits the line, fakes the shot. Hurd, ready to go. Couldn't get it away, but he still got it though. Kelly Hurd left side. Over to Valimont, slides it Turgeon, couldn't roll it through the loose stick down on the ice, and the puck goes out of play, but that is a break for the Aeros. That should keep the face-off in the Indianapolis zone with 1:48 left, but oh wow, a moment ago, Patrice Robitaille in alone on Rob Dopson, and Dopson makes the save of the night.
I'll tell you what, it was great action as the Aeros used that power play to get a lot of action down in the end, and it finally gets it turned over, and I tell you, a great save by Dopson to keep the Aeros in this game. That 2-goal lead might have killed them. Right before that, though, what caused that breakaway, Miles O'Connor right in deep, and he did the right thing. He came down in and took the chance on goal, but when a defenseman comes down in like that, you got to have guys step back and cover up. No one did, and I tell you what, Patrice Robitaille, rather, went all the way down the ice, and a great save by Rob Dopson there, keeping his team in it with just under 2 minutes to play.
Off the draw. Puck is in the Indianapolis zone. Hurd trying to dig it out. It's shot out at center, and Turgeon was there. And crank it into the Indy zone, and Werenka was down with 1.5 minutes to go. The Aeros need one to tie to force the shootout. Here come the ice. Klimovich across the line. Klimovich trying to move in on goal. Away from Valimont. Behind the net, Cole lost it. Chased down by Miles O'Connor. He's drilled off the puck. We're down to 1:15. We'll keep an eye on Rob Dopson. Here come the Aeros out at center. Valimont. Give it to Kelly Hurd across the line. Dopson's still in the game right now. Conroy centered one, but Valimont couldn't find it. Pushed away. Dopson's still in there. Hurd trying to put one in there. We're down to the final minute. 4-3 Indianapolis. Now Dopson to the bench. Puck is shot in by Valimont. Extra attacker. It's Mike Yeo that comes out. The ice trying to clear it. Cannot. Lamb held it in at the left point. Freer was moving down to pinch, but it was squirted out at center. 44 seconds to go. Aeros down a goal. A pass to Conroy. He'll bring it across the line as he dumped it in. Aeros going in after it, but the ice crank it to the line. Lamb, could he hold it in? No! It'll go down the ice. Hurlbut hustling back to get there. He got there, but Robitaille couldn't get it, but there's Kip Miller who tried to send one. Bashkatov works that away. The ice with it. With 20 seconds to go, the puck was centered, and Lamb has got it. With the empty net, his pass comes to Slivchenko, could not corral it. The puck is shot the length of the ice. Not much time left, 10 seconds. It looks like the Aeros are going to go to defeat. It goes down Lamb. The long shot goes way wide. Is it icing? Yes, with 4 seconds left, and that'll bring a return to Rob Dopson, but it appears, barring no miracle from the Aeros, that the Aeros are going to drop their 7th in a row, but not without a fight.
They certainly did come down with a fight in this third period, and Jimmy Waite made some great saves. Dopson definitely gave the Aeros a chance to win, making a lot of great saves himself, but tell you what, the Aeros just unable to capitalize down deep late in the game. They had plenty of chances, some pretty good shots, and just couldn't fire it home. So it looks like Ferguson will get another 2 points, 2 points closer to clinching a playoff spot.
Face-off will be to the left side of Rob Dopson. You're going to have to shoot it from within your own end here, but it looks like the Aeros will win the draw, and that'll be the hockey game. As Valimont goes back and will shoot it the length of the ice. That'll go wide of the net. Jimmy Waite will scoop it up, but the buzzer sounds, and the hockey game is over. So the Aeros winless in 7. The Indianapolis Ice with a big win. The Aeros do not gain any ground on Atlanta, who lost tonight 6-5 to the Orlando Solar Bears, but time is winding down tonight, as that, I believe, would make the magic number now 7 games for the Aeros. So the Aeros right now have to start putting the wins together. They will get the Indianapolis Ice again next Friday, or this Friday, and then they're off on the road. They got to go to Fort Wayne and Detroit, so it's not a very easy task for Houston.
4 games in 5 nights. It's going to be a tough little road swing here.
At 4-3. The Ice win it tonight, and when we return, we'll close things up. This is Houston Aeros hockey. Be right back. Back at the Summit, the Indianapolis Ice have defeated the Houston Aeros by a score of 4-3, and the Aeros now winless in 7 hockey games, and time running out on the boys.
Well, yeah, you're running out of games, and I guess the most disappointing part is the Atlanta Knights are on a little bit of a losing streak themselves, as they've lost 4 in a row now. So this would be the prime time for the Aeros to take advantage of that, and they just can't find the hold.
They do find one bright spot in the deal for Scott Arniel. They pick up Igor Bashkitov. He gets 3 goals, and he is your Texaco star of the game, as he gets goals number 15, 16, and 17 this year. 3 as a Houston Aero, so welcome to Houston.
Yeah, he wrapped up all the scoring for Houston Aeros tonight, which is good.
And I think Dave Tippett may have found something there. You know, Vadim Slivchenko, he's a delicate guy you got to work with. He's been off and on this year, but you know the talent that Slivchenko has. Perhaps with Igor Bashkitov, they found somebody that can play on the level with Slivchenko.
Well, you need someone to complement him, and I think these guys complement each other very well, and you saw that tonight in the way they moved the puck and the way they skated together. So maybe someone to match his speed and puck handling ability.
The Aeros had chances to win tonight, but boy, the one that got thwarted is your Gatorade play of the game, and it would be a great series of saves from Jimmy Waite.
Well, Jimmy Waite starts off with making a save on the point, and then they just jam away at it, and eventually the puck will come out front to Al Conroy, and somehow Jimmy Waite will get the blocker on it. Actually, it went off his face and went right up in the air. Hurlbut thought he had a goal there, but not to be, as the Aeros dropped this one.
Boy, they tell you to save face, and I think Jimmy Waite did it on that one.
Yeah, you got to use every part of your body, and he certainly did.
Yeah, tonight the Aeros, as we say, lose by a score of 4-3. They will take on the Indianapolis Ice again Friday night, and the Aeros just have to keep going at it day by day. I think if you're Dave Tippett, you know, you just have to keep plugging along here, and, you know, you have to go with what you got at this point. Obviously, the trading deadline was at 4 o'clock Houston time this evening, so you got to go with what you got, and the Aeros are just going to make the best of it.
Well, yeah, that's true, and they do have to make the best of it. They have to take the players they had tonight, and they did play a good game, but they just didn't have enough. They were obviously 1 or 2 goals short tonight.
Final stats tonight are brought to you by your local Texas Dodge dealers. 26-24. The Aeros outshoot the Indianapolis Ice. Aeros go 1 of 3 on the power play. The Ice 1 of 5. The Aeros with 35 faceoffs won. The Indianapolis Ice with 28. Aeros with 7 penalties for 20 minutes. The Indianapolis Ice 6 penalties for 18 minutes. So the Aeros in the stat department get it done, but the one that matters is, again, that 4-3. And again, I got to reiterate how big these next 2 weeks are. 4 games in 5 nights this week. And you start 3-3 now on Friday with Indianapolis. Then next week you got Cleveland in for a pair, which begins 4 games in 5 nights. And then after that's over, that commences a 9-day road trip for the Houston Aeros. I think some stories will be answered by the time that road trip rolls along.
Well, and maybe even before, because we also did get a good look tonight at Atlanta's schedule. Both teams have tough schedules, so I guess it's the team that handles that schedule the best that might have a better chance of getting into the playoffs.
So speaking of the playoffs, let's update the playoff picture in the Central Division. Atlanta has lost tonight. Now the X's indicate Orlando, Detroit, and Cleveland have clinched. Atlanta, they're in right now if things were to end tonight, but they're 14 points up. They lost at Orlando 6-5, so they're 29-33-9. The Aeros with their loss 23-39-7. So 14 points separate the Houston Aeros and the Atlanta Knights. The Aeros, that's who they got to worry about. Anybody in the other division there in the other division, the Northern Division, there, they can't worry about that. They got to worry about Atlanta.
Yeah, that's the only team they can catch now, obviously, and basically they need the Atlanta Knights to go into the bag, and they have done that the last 4 games, losing their last 4, but I think the Aeros have to start winning some. I mean, it's going to get mathematically impossible here pretty quick.
Greener, thanks for your help.
Thank you.
All right, we invite you to stay with us on the radio side of things. We'll take your calls tonight, but my thanks for you for joining us here on Prime Sports. The final score tonight from the Summit. Houston Aeros fall to the Indianapolis Ice 4-3. For Mike Greenlay, this is Adam Gordon saying good night from the Summit.